Hello.
Oh, hello.
What up?
What's up? I just
Not
turned
much.
the stream on.
Oh, nice. 6 a.m. is way more doable, I feel like, than 5 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. All right. You're just going to share your screen?
Oh, yeah, let me do that.
Okie dokie. Oh, 76.
Yeah. No dodges this time.
Gotta play it. The CPL channel, they were talking about people were betting on this game this morning.
Okay.
50-cent bet was placed on best.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first semifinals of ASL 15. This time around, you wanted him. He's back. It's the big Razz. What's going on, dude?
Good morning, Nyoken. Not much, man. Just really excited to get kicked off to see this first semifinal, man. Real exciting stuff. How are you today?
Oh, I'm great. I'm super hyped for this. I've been waiting all week to see this particular match, not just because we've got good players, but like you said before the intro even started, there can be no dodges this time. You're gonna have to play 76. You're gonna have to play Nemesis.
Oh, man, 76. We know those games get wild. Who knows what mind will pull out? Will we see the Stim Rush? Will we just see some Wraith? Who knows? Anything could be possible on 76.
Totally. I am so excited, and I'm excited that it's actually the third map. So there's no potential that we don't get to see it. This is going to be fantastic. We're getting a look at the key points. You can't really tell. Like, okay, well, they're just breaking down how they actually got here. You can see that in the round of 8, Best took down Action. And if you guys have not seen that game, even if you don't like Protoss versus Zerg, I highly recommend that match. And then also, Terran versus Zerg, Mine versus Queen, also an exciting round of 8 match. All of the round of 8 matches were actually very, very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Best was excellent against Action, man. I mean, those games were just so incredible, so well played. Use of the Dark Archon was insane. And then Mine pulling it out, right? Who thought his return, his comeback, that he would take someone down like Queen in a close series, but he did it. He showed us he's for real, he's back, and he is ready to play. So I think this is going to be a super matchup today. I mean, we saw that in the round of 16, Mine taking down Bisu, and Best taking down someone like Light. So both these guys, PBT, TVP, are ready to go.
Yeah, and before today's match started, I was looking at these players' history. When was the last time they made it into a finals? Actually, Mind made it into a finals somewhat recently, within like the past 5 or 6 years. It was not like an official Star League, but he did make it into the finals of like an invite tournament. However, Best, on the other hand, the last time we saw him in the finals, 15 years ago. So if he was to win today, that would be quite the accomplishment. And look at this. These are the predictions. And you can see that heavily it's in favor of Best.
Wow. Really, really favored for Best. I'm excited to see how this goes today because I thought mine played a really good, solid TVP. And I felt like when some of the PVTs we've seen Best play, he's been a little bit sloppy with things like observers and running into mines. And Mind is very good at laying down all of his mines from his vultures and getting on the map and showing some different contain spots. So I think it's not going to be as one-sided as a lot of the predictions, at least from my point of view.
Yeah, I also don't think it's going to be that lopsided. You know, I saw predictions in Gypsy's Discord, for example, people saying it's going to be 4-0. 4-1. I'm like, did you guys even watch the round of 16, the round of 8? Like, mine crushed through Bisu. I don't think that it's going to be lopsided like you said. I will say, though, that if Best does win, like the first 2 maps, and then we get into 76 as our 3rd map, well, then I think mine's going to be in trouble. Because I actually think 76 is well designed for how Best plays.
Yeah, we know that heavy macro, heavy unit shuttle style from him. He loves that, so I think I agree with you. 76 definitely probably a map that's going to favor him as we go through these games. But the rest of them, I think mine's very good at splitting the map. He's very good at, like I said before, putting these mines down to really get his attacks going forward. So maps like Heartbreak Ridge, if he can get through the early stages, I think will favor him a little bit more.
Well, we'll see if he can do so. I'm sure they're going to have interviews with the players like they did in the... Oh, there we go, of course. Castor Park going to take care of business this time. Now, what about the other maps? If we end up getting into 5th, 6th, 7th maps... Well, actually, I guess I got to see the maps. Well, I guess what I wanted to ask is, what maps do you think are good in the map pool for Protoss here?
Anytime you can get a 2-player map, I think like Heartbreak Ridge and Dark Origin, you can get that gas deal early, and if you prep correctly, I think that's something that always favors Protoss a little bit. I think Terrans have gotten better and better with handling it, but if you could do that, I think that's really, really good. Vermeer for Best style, I think is an extremely good pick for him coming in second because, you know, it's a little bit harder to get to your natural 3rd there. So with his heavy unit, heavy bus style, I think Vermeer will also be a strong map for Best. On the other side, I think Sylphid will be a little bit tougher for Best in terms of getting, because we saw Mine do a really good job of taking his 3rd and being able to set up and just containing Bisu a bit. So I think he's going to have to switch it up a little bit from that heavy unit style there if he decides to do that.
Yeah, and you know, even though everybody knows Best as Gateway Man, build tons of units, builds a lot of shuttles these days, actually Best is very innovative in all the matchups. He pulls out the Maelstrom in Protoss versus Zerg. You know, a couple years ago, I was watching him experiment with Disruption Web. I actually was checking out his YouTube channel, which if you have not checked it out, you should search on YouTube, DoTube. He was going carriers also. So even though we've seen him only go Gateway Man with shuttles, I think today could be a mix-up. We could see some carriers on something like 76 maybe. We could see some carriers on maybe Nemesis if we get there. I don't think you can just say, okay, this guy's going to Gateway Man every time, because he is very innovative.
Yeah, I would imagine that anytime that players of this level, or any player for that matter, coming into a series that's best of 7, you want to have a kind of mix-up of builds, right? You don't want to keep showing the same thing over and over. While I do agree you want to hit one really good build, but I think you need to mix it up. Like if your opponent can just prepare for one set style, I think you're at a disadvantage. So I'm sure Best will pull out some stuff other than Gateway Man today. Hopefully. We don't want to see him keep going Gateway Man and running into mine, but we'll see what works. What's interesting, Nyoken, is Nemesis is last. That neither player picked it. So like that was the one that both avoided. So it'd be interesting if we do get to Game 7. What happens there on such an awkward map?
Yeah, I can understand the predicament for both sides. If you're Protoss, do you really want to play versus nonstop dropship harassment? I mean, it can get ugly real quick. At the same time, if you're Terran and it gets to late game, do you want to potentially face mass recall at bases that you may not be able to get to defend easily, like top middle? If the eggs are down or the assimilators are down, you can't defend there, or at least it's not easy to get there to defend. You are going to have a rough time fighting carriers, that's for sure, unless they're in the center of the map. So I can understand both players vetoing it.
Yeah, the other interesting thing I thought was that mine taking, I guess Retro was probably, it was the choice between Retro and Nemesis, I guess would have to do it. Retro seems very standard, like we said, kind of fighting spirit-esque. I feel like that also is kind of strong for that mass shuttle, which we've seen already been played in this ASL. So I guess he was stuck between, do I deal with mass shuttles on Retro or do I deal with the problems on Nemesis? And he went with Retro. So we'll see if we get there, what he also has in store for us there.
Yeah, Retro a little bit more normal. Reminds me of Largo, reminds me of Allegro. So I think that's probably why that one got picked instead of Nemesis. Now, meanwhile, on mine side, I actually think the maps are pretty good for him, except for 76. Like I was saying before, I really think 76 is a great map for best style. Like, unlike players like Snow, for example, who goes Reaver, goes heavy Goon, heavy tech units, carriers, who needs that second gas pretty quickly. If you watch best games, oftentimes I'm like looking at his natural. I'm like, you gonna take that gas, man? You gonna build an assimilator anytime soon? We're approaching 10 minutes. Like, this guy doesn't necessarily need to take an island base to be fine. He could take the natural, which has no gas there, and play out of that for sure. So I think if Mind steals the victory on 76, he's going to be looking pretty damn good going into the future maps. At least that's my prediction so far.
Yeah, I can see that for sure for him. And we've seen like his name, he is a thinking player. He does make a lot of strong tactical decisions within the game. He sets up well. So for sure, he definitely steal games off these maps. I mean, he's made it this far and had a tough field to get through, but he's done it. So I think he definitely has a good shot at with maps that are set up here.
Well, he did try BBS a couple times in Terran versus Zerg. And I'm sure BBS is also a build in Terran versus Protoss. Do you think we could see him pull that out? Or has he been punished by these Zergs one too many times to try and attempt it again, you think, in this series?
I would love for him to pull it out. I think why not? I mean, you had a 7-game series here, right? There's definitely a couple maps that are easily do it. It's possible on Vermeer. I guess 76 you can go for. It might be a little more struggling up the ramp than make a zealot. You could do it on Sylphid, right? Like is that buildable area in the middle. So I'm not sure if Best would expect that for Mind. And we all know if you get caught with that, we played enough ladder games where all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, there's 7 Marines walking to my base. What's going on here? I don't even have a Dragoon yet. If it catches you, it's over. There's just no recovery. So I would love to see him try to pull it out. Why not? One more time, it might work.
I also would love it. Since I'm not Protoss, I don't have to face that on the ladder. And I'm trying to think of when's the last time I actually saw BBS. I can't remember, but we've got highlights of the history of both sides, so let's check it out. All right. Well, I couldn't understand all of that Korean that was there, but I did see 1,501 days for mine to do something, whether it was make the round of 4 to the finals. But regardless, it's been quite a long time since we've seen mine, and he's really delivered this season into the top 4. And you know what's exciting about this season, Razz? Not just all the upsets, but our remaining 4, none of them have won ASL. So we're going to have a new champion this season.
That is exciting because we always have those, mainstream names, and then we're going to mix it up. So that's awesome. And I think I don't want to say it gives extra motivation, but definitely leaves some room for some motivation / nerves, I'm sure, of these players. Like, oh my God, it could be my year. Like, Flash isn't here. So, like, maybe I could do it this time. Like, I could get there. Like, there is no immovable object in the way. So I think it adds a little something to it.
And we are getting a look at how these players got here, as I stated earlier. Best taking down Action, mine taking down Queen. Tomorrow we've got the bottom side, which is going to be Hero versus JYJ. Hero had absolutely perfect play versus Jaedong, taking it 3-2. Meanwhile, JYJ and Sulky both played out of their freaking minds, but in the end, it was JYJ with the insane vessels, just nonstop irradiates. My friend Rhett, he always talks about how vessels, they're just so ridiculous, they irradiate forever. And I gotta say, I had never seen so many irradiates until I had watched Game 5 of this series. So if you have not seen that series, definitely check it out. taelen played crazy, so did Sulky, but in the end, JYJ just a little bit too strong on that day. And we're getting a look at how the maps are going. Today, we've got Heartbreak Ridge, then Vermeer, then 76, Sylphid, Dark Origin, Retro, and then, of course, Nemesis as our final map.
Yeah, I see there both 2-player maps selected by Best, as I would expect. Like I said before, I think that's always a little bit of advantage with the gas steal. Definitely leaves a lot of playability, right? Like, you're going to gas steal into 12 Nexus. Are you going to gas steal into a forward gateway? Are you going to gas steal into a proxy or reaver? Like, there's so many options from there. So I would see why Best picked that stuff.
And let's look at win rates. Okay, so it looks like Best's second best matchup is versus taelen. Meanwhile, surprisingly, mine's best matchup is Zerg, but it's only just barely over Protoss. Protoss is 0.5% away from being his best matchup. So far this season, he took down strong Protoss opponents also like Bisu. Let's see here. Okay, it's first time he's made it into the round of 4. And you could see he took down mostly Zergs and taelens to get here. Meanwhile, it's been 13 seasons since Best has made it into the round of 4. So that's quite a long time.
Overdue. He's ready. He's poised. He's ready to get it done.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Selfishly, Nyoken, I'd love to see Best, make a really good run here for the Protoss. There weren't many of them in this ASL, and not many made it through to the round of 16. But I wouldn't mind if he made it all the way through to the final.
I wouldn't mind it either, because, I see Best every season. And when you think of Best, you think of, okay, maybe this guy can make it to the finals. Like, definitely you could see him making it to the finals. But every season, like, he struggles. Sometimes eliminated in the round of 24. Most of the time eliminated in the round of 16. So I'm happy that he made it this far, because he's amazing. He deserves to make it into the round of 4 at least. And we're looking at matchup history here. Best 3-1, but you've only got 4 matches played, so I think you take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, for sure. 4 matches, just not enough games there to really say like it's going to matter. And if I can, not that I can read any of the Korean, but it looks like it's over a lot of seasons there, so a lot of time in between.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says.
So I think, coming in how much meta has changed over those years and where they were from season 2 now to season 15, I mean, it's just totally different. So
yeah, I would like to go back in time on YouTube or Afrika and check out those VODs, look at what the playstyles were in ASL 2 and compare them to what they are now in ASL 15, because they're going to be ridiculously different. Like, this shuttle man play I don't think there was ever a point in time where that was ever a strategy for Protoss, ever, until like the past year.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, it was, get your army, get one shuttle. So as you engage with the Terran, you drop a couple zealots behind them, and they definitely weren't speed shuttles. We never seen anything where it was like 4, 5, 6 shuttles, going into even just into Terran's base. Like that was something you would never think of. I'm going to fly 3 speed shuttles over into Terran's base and drop 2 Reavers and 8 zealots and destroy depots. That was not something going on.
Yeah, and if you're playing from Terran's perspective and somebody does it to you, you're already tilted because you're like, oh, I'm getting trolled. Like this guy, he's just toying with me, man.
But now here we are. Shuttles standard all the time, bro. Shuttles are standard. Lots of shuttles.
Yeah, if you don't get Goliath range or if you don't lay mines in your base, you're in big trouble. And looking at the Terran opponents that Best has faced, mostly playing versus Rush. He played versus Mind in the round of 24. Took him down, actually. So I guess technically Best up 1-0 in the ASL 15 over Mind. But that, of course, was in the round of 24. I wonder what Mind's past Protoss opponents are. We know it was Bisu earlier this season. And it was Shuttle, Best. We had Movie, Rain, Best again. I don't know who that guy is in Group D, but then Best again, and then Bisu this season.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good opponents in there, all known players. Guys like Motive, maybe not the same caliber as a player like Best, but obviously very good.
Yep, so we are just waiting for our players to get ready for game 1. Looks like we may be getting in there in just a second. First match is going to be on Heartbreak Ridge, and as he talked about, this is a 2-player map. So we could see sparks, whether it's gas steal. Imagine if he gas steals into a BBS.
Yeah, you're just dead, man. Your gateway's too late. You're just dead.
All right, players are ready. Let's get into it. Game 1 between Best and Mind in our semifinals of ASL Season 15. And in the mid-right position, our white Protoss, it is Best. And in the mid-left in the green, it is Mind.
Now, this was the map that he did try to BBS on before Nyoken, so maybe, just maybe, we would see it again.
Yeah, we could definitely see it. I'm still waiting for a Protoss to proxy gate on this map. I'm surprised nobody has proxy gated on here at all. Like, it's actually been quite a chill map. Nobody's playing super aggro.
Yeah, usually, I mean, in the history of watching games, I mean, we're talking over the years, you would just put a pylon on top of the... Oh, no gas steal, Nyoken. He's not setting the probe. Usually you send it right after the pylon. But usually you would put a pylon on top of where the ramp is behind the natural, and you can put a gateway up there and forces Terran to come up the ramp even if you want to retreat. Yeah. So, surprise. None of that stuff.
Yeah, no gas steal. This could mean that it's 12 Nexus.
I think it is. We'll know in about 10 seconds here. If he queues up another probe or he drops a gateway.
Yeah, I think this is going to be 12 Nexus. As also, like, I clicked on like 3 or 4 videos yesterday on Best's YouTube channel, and 2 of them were 12 Nexus. The other one was a carrier game, so I'm not surprised to see that this is going to be a 12 Nexus, and I would say this is a bit unfortunate for mine, but at least it's 2-player, so he will scout it, I hope, pretty quickly, and he'll have to come up with some type of counterplay, because a lot of Terran players think if you just let Protoss get 12 Nexus and you don't do damage, I don't want to say it's unplayable, but it's very hard to play into a 12 Nexus if you don't damage them.
Yeah, I mean, just the eco boost in the beginning into the mid game is just crazy. Like Preuss has so many units, it's like you're almost going to be, especially on a map like Heartbreak Ridge, how do you ever take your third base? I mean, especially with a player like Best who macros insane and is very okay with playing with gateway units. I mean, by 11 minutes he'll max if he has no pressure, which would be a major problem for Mind here.
Yeah, if you have that fast of a max, you better hope that you hit everything. If you're Terran, you cannot miss, definitely can't miss that 44 depot. I'm telling you that. He will be insta-dead if he gets supply blocked at any point. Now we've got a weird factory placement. It's very forward. I think the probe actually caught it at the tail end of its vision. So he knows that this is going to be some type of pressure. And we do see continuous Marines being built. We see the second gate coming up for Best also. We've got a wall. I forgot about this. You can just wall them in. And if that's
Nyoken. That's a big problem. He's going to see this pressure coming, and the Vultures are going to get there. And he greeted a bit. He did not make the Zealot. So if he sent another SCV, he could have probably started a bunker out there by that Nexus.
Well, the depot does get taken down. I would say that already Mind has done a decent amount of damage. And the reason I say that is even though he doesn't kill probes, he at least forced 4 probes to not be mining at a point in the game where Protoss doesn't have, you know, an insane amount of probes, and we do have the drill. There it is. Here we go. So this is what Mind is going to rely on. Now remember, that SCV is still alive, and he depots it again.
Yeah, wow, that's going to be big there if he can get the SCVs there and get the bunker down and doesn't allow the goon out. Oh my goodness, the Zealot can't reach the SCV. Dude, I think Best is in trouble, man.
Oh yeah, he's in super trouble. Like, that depot has a lot. He hasn't pulled any probes to help kill it either. Luckily the SCV died, so it's not going to be able to continue to build. Okay, finally he takes it down. I don't know if that was a cancel or not, but regardless, I think that Mind may be able to bust through this. However, those Marines are way too far forward. So like, it's so many good connections. SCVs are trying to bug out the AI of the goons. Is it enough?
I don't know if it's enough. Oh, Best to be able to get a Dragoon out here to stop the reinforcements. I think there's 2 Marines in that bunker, so they will kill the Nexus pretty fast. I think we're going to see Best just surrender the natural and try to kill as many SCVs with the goons, because range won't be done for another minute at least here.
Yeah, this is what you can do, actually, is you don't have to actually save the Nexus. You can play out of it as long as you had potentially killed a decent amount of SCVs. But he killed no SCVs, so I'm very worried that this is going to be really ridiculously hard for Best to play out of.
Yeah, that makes it very difficult. I mean, he'll probably leave 4 SCVs there to repair the bunker as well, just to make it really, really hard for Best to ever come out. It will delay that Nexus for a long time, and he'll probably get mines behind this and just take a CC of his own.
Yeah, and if the Terran can lay some mines like where the Nexus could be built, he may be able to delay this Nexus quite a long time. He's obviously going to lay mines behind the bunker in case there's a run by, but if he could lay them right there, and you can see that's what Best is trying to prevent, because as soon as this bunker falls, he wants to insta-build that Nexus. He does not want to have to deal with, oh, I don't have an observer, I can't build this Nexus for, you know, an additional 30 seconds. But there's a tank already here.
Oh, man.
Oh, he's not
going to be a little
bunker.
dance there. Oh! We didn't repair it. He has 1 SCV repairing.
I see that.
We don't use it all 4. He feels it's only the job for 1 right now.
I'm shocked that bunker didn't die, but it ends up staying alive for now, and those goons have taken a lot of damage. If he leads with those front 2 goons, he may end up losing both of them. Smartly, he does retreat to his main. We do have observatory almost done. We've got shuttle, I'm sure, he may actually build a shuttle and start elevatoring out, maybe.
Yeah, I think Mind is anticipating some of that. That's why he's retreating here and just going back to his base so he doesn't have to deal. Oh man, is he going to elevator a probe out for another base over here to try to take a Nexus? Oh, yeah, I don't think that's the worst idea. Yeah, I think that's a smart idea because he needs to get this Nexus down. He is so behind right now in economy. Mind has already almost finished his CC. He's really going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my. Oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, my goodness. All right, it connected on 1.
Yeah, at least he loaded up one of them to save a bit of health on it. But look at this. Mind on top of it. He's going to find bottom right already.
that's huge, Nyoken, to know it's there. Because I would imagine he's going to probably go into maybe a 3 or 4 factory timing here, and he probably could push out 3 factory and get into another CC, or just go 4 fac with a lot of pressure and maybe even try to end the game, because that's a hard base to defend now for Best.
Yeah, and also there's still mines in this bunker outside of his natural right now. Like, it's still going to take a while to take that down. We see the support bay coming in. I think that's exactly what you need to go for here. You can't afford to try and rely on gateway production to try and deal with this. If you're ever caught out of position with mass gates versus, like you said, a 3 or 4 fac timing that doesn't go to your natural and just goes to the bottom right, you're in trouble. So I think you are going to have to heavily rely on not just one Reaver, but probably double Reaver here.
Yeah, that may be the saving grace for Best, if he can get the double Reaver on top of the ramps and fight Mine's army as it comes up the ramp and delay on each of the ramps to his base. That'll buy him time to get some of his economy online and then be able to fight with more units, because I definitely feel like he is behind here. And we see Mine setting up a pretty good SimCity in his main to deal with this Reaver.
Yep, and Best doing what all Protoss players do. They're going to double expand, take a 3rd Nexus. I think this is exactly what he needs to do to catch up into this game. He's got the Reaver coming out, but Mind has great turret placement. There's a 2nd turret more towards the middle right there, as you can see. So really not any angle that he can attack from. 2nd factory is about to be done also. Armory about to be done too. So Goliath will probably be coming out to help support these turrets.
Yeah, what really impressed me about this for Mind as well, Nyoken, is he saved every unit. Like, he has all those Marines, he didn't have to build any extra, so, like, he should be online fully. Like, he took all the Marines out of the bunkers, brought them home, didn't miss any SCVs, so he should be rolling.
Yeah, at least when Best was defending his natural, he also saved all his probes, so he will still skyrocket in supply once all these bases kick in. Oh no, big hit again. Luckily, those goons had all their shields, so not going to take too much damage. We've got 2 more factories coming in, so that gives us 4. And the Observer, again, just barely out of vision of seeing them.
Yeah, this is really a crazy good play here for a Mind, man. I mean, Vulture run by. First shot from the Reaver misses. Total dud. Second one is pretty much a dud as well.
I thought that was going to be suicide. I thought that those Vultures were just going to get blown up by the first Reaver, but good control there to actually get in there and get, even though it's probably not worth for 3 Vultures, at least he got some damage done. And we do have a 5th factory, so this is going to be potentially a 5 fac plus 1 timing. You really don't see that often.
Yeah, I'd love to see, I want to see Best Vision. He doesn't know Nyoken, which is going to be part of the problem. Mind has built his base in such a way that he's hidden these factories from any of the observers, and Best is kind of in the dark guessing. I think that's why he's adding more gateways already, because he's like, hey, this is weird. Like, you set your base up really oddly. Like, why would you do that? And a lot of times when you see that, it's a 6 fac plus 1 timing. At least my experience playing against some of this stuff, but I really like it for Mind.
Okay, actually it's going to be a 5 fac, defensive 5 fac into a command center. Wow. So if Best thought it was like a 5 or 6 fac and then he now sees this command center, yes, there's going to be a lot of units obviously for Mind, but he's going to know that this is just for defensive play. So we could see Best take another Nexus, but instead I think he's actually put up even more gateways, so it could just be a bust. Because remember, like I said, even though he lost his nat, he didn't lose any SC or any probes, so he's still got supply lead right now.
Yeah, and I love this from Mind, snipe the Observer, so that the Reavers and the shuttles don't know when the tanks are sieging. But I don't know, Nyoken, can he bust him with 5 fac production happening?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to, and I was literally just about to say this. I think Mind is aware that this is happening too, because if you look at his Vulture at top right, there's not even probe movement up there. Regardless of whether he's taken the Nexus or not, like, you're not even showing that you're intending to take this. So that means that it can only be mass gateways behind this. And what's one way to counter mass gateway? Surprisingly, floating your barracks in eBay, because that means that the goons are going to, or the Rax is going to take up all those goon shots. So I think this is exactly what you should do as Mind.
Yeah, I think this is the perfect situation. And he knows that Best has his units to the bottom, so he's going to be able to get his vultures out to the top side of the map and kind of pressure Best as well. And he has a lot of zealots, and oh my goodness, this is one of the things that worries me about Best here, man. Does he have an observer? Oh, he does, okay. Because sometimes his observer movement with his units is not there, and he'll just face check these mines, which is not a good thing.
Yep, and here we go. Double shuttle gets spotted. He sees speed has already kicked in. Based on how the flow of the game has went, you know, this speed is really, really fast compared to how the game has gone. And I think that Mind is going to know that a bust is incoming. He's down 45 supply right now. He's pushed the Reavers back. He's got his 2-1 upgrades coming in, but critically those Reavers are still alive. Now, this tank count is pretty damn big, but he's going to be attacking into high ground.
The other thing that makes me worry, Nyoken, is we have like 10 vultures on the map. Oh, that was making me worried, but we're going to get a good run by. This might trigger Best to go, man.
Yeah, I think at this point you got to go, right? You're losing so many probes here. These zealots probably aren't even going to kill the vultures either. He's going to... Well, where's the observer? Okay, there's the observer, but there's depots, there's turrets. I guess the Rax is floated at the bottom side, so that's not going to come into play here. Best is in trouble, man. Like, he's got a big army, but he's not doing anything with it. And meanwhile, Terran's just building up more tanks, more vultures, more Sim City.
Yeah, we may have missed our opportunity to go there. I thought he was going to be triggered to go because the vultures are out from the main. If they're not with the army, then you know that there's nothing going to be protecting these siege tanks from the drops of the zealots. So I thought we would go, but we decided not to.
Yep. Now, critically for Terran, the third base is still floated. So Protoss, even though it took a little bit of damage there, it's not like Terran's third base has kicked in yet. He is still worried about that Reaver because there's no turrets over here to stop it. So those Reavers are now going to move into position at the third base and shut that base down. But we've actually got a drop with tanks loaded up. This is fantasy, man. We're going to try and knock down this Nexus.
Yeah, this is really, really good play because Mine could also abuse the high ground behind the Nat with these tanks as well as he moves the units. The only thing I think that's saving grace here for Best is he has speed shuttles to kind of counter some of this. And the first tank goes down. Oh my goodness, what a shot.
Yeah, and smartly Best saves some of his pros by pulling them, because a lot of time this drop is just going to be a vulture drop, but he knew that it had to be a tank drop, and he got, I would say half of the probes out, but yeah, that was a big shot from Mind. And Mind, still no third base, but critically for him, his +2 weapons going to be kicking in pretty soon, and with Protoss not having a huge bank, with also not being max, this is still a very, very hard situation for Protoss to deal with.
Yeah, the problem I think for Best is that we're going to get to late game here, or we're going to have a 200 mech army. Gateway Man doesn't fight well against that. Like, we need some serious AoE. The Reaver's about to go down here. Oh, nope. Okay, he gets the shuttle out. He's going to kill these Goliaths. Well done by him. But as I was saying, Nick, how do you fight the 200 mech army with no stasis, right? Like, no late game tech. And I don't even know what the upgrades are for Best right now.
Yeah, I also don't know what his upgrades are. He did rush a forge. Well, not necessarily rush a forge, but he got it somewhat quickly. I would expect him to at least have +1. I think +2 could be coming pretty soon. So his upgrades may be matching Mine's. Yeah, +1 is done. So I'm sure that one spinning forge was weapon. Hopefully he'll have that +2 power spike. And we do have actually a second robo coming in. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so we are going to see that mass shuttle style, but we got 3 base Terran versus 4 base Protoss right now with just Gateway Man units. No other tech. I think I saw a couple Templar, but that's about it.
You know, Terran may be content with, like, just never attacking past the center of the map and only attacking bottom right, because I'm looking at how much money he has. Doesn't have a big bank, just landed his third base. Main and natural should be mining out pretty soon. You know, you really don't want to be attacking if you're only on one base, right? Like, if your attack fails and you don't have additional econ coming in, you're in trouble. So I think we may just have Terran literally just continuing to lay tons of mines, but scratch all that. We've got a big drop into the main. There's Templars mixed in, but there's only Zealots. Oh, he's going to keep elevatoring in? I think he really needs to get some goons in there. If he can get goons in, this would be fantastic.
He's going for it. He's dropping everything. And everything for Terran is pushed to the front. Can he get everything back in time to get through that choke before these Templars get down there? Oh, and start storming. Oh, it seems like he can. He got the first Templar snipe. But this is an interesting move here from Best.
Yeah, actually, look at that eBay. Look at how it prevents the units from getting on top of the tanks. That was a genius move, limiting the amount of damage that the Zealots can deal. And great focus firing from Terran also to pick off the majority of the Templars. However, he is going to lose potentially his science facility. He did lose a couple depots, but not the biggest of deals. Also may lose his starport. Now that may come into play.
Yeah, I think this was an interesting play here from Best. I'm not quite sure if it was worth everything. It's almost like he did like a mini recall back there with the shuttles.
Yeah, the goons are still doing a decent amount of damage, but supplies have really shot down quite considerably for both sides. Losing maybe like 50 supply in that attack. We've got a tank drop to bottom right, and there is a decent minefield, but because there's so many shuttles, okay, if he focuses down the probes, this could deal considerable amounts of damage, like that shot right there.
Wow. Look at these tanks just absolutely obliterate the probes right there. Gets the cannon. Won't get the base, but I think the damage was done. The damage was enough from just those two tanks and how many probes they killed.
Now, what I'm worried about for Protoss now is how many tanks did Protoss really kill with his mass drop? I don't think he killed that many at all. So the tank count should be nuts.
Yeah, the tank count is definitely nuts. And one thing about this style that always bothers me, Nyoken, is we're using probably 10, 12, 14 supply for these shuttles that are not units.
Yeah, that's what I always get worried about. Oh, okay, well, if he can land on mines like that.
Goodness.
Oh, it's almost perfect. But these goons and zealots killed the entire SCV line there. That's a big loss.
Yeah, that was worth it. I thought we were about to see fireworks, honestly, with that minefield out. I was getting real excited.
Yeah, you could hear the Korean casters in the back. They were expecting it too, but no mine explosion this time around. +3 weapon, however, is about to kick in. And mine, well, you know, I was going to say he's going to have his 4th base up and potentially a 5th base, but remember, that 5th base that Mind wants, well, Protoss took that like 10 minutes ago. Like, that's probably going to be mined out in a second. That is so many shuttles. Actually crazy how many shuttles. And it's all zealots.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, we killed a lot of the SCVs again just from the tank fire themselves.
Yeah, but
I mean, we're treading out effectively, though. I don't think we killed too many tanks.
Yeah, that did not go as well as I thought it was going to go. Those zealots got right on top of the tanks, and supplies were actually in favor of Mind for a second. Now, we do have, for the first time, pretty much all game, quite a considerable army going to top right. There's a lot of vultures. Well, I guess not that big of an army, actually, with not that many tanks, but this could be enough to actually knock down this base since he has so many vultures up here.
Yeah, we have the speed shuttles coming in with zealots, but they're not going to matter if the vultures just pick them off. Oh, he actually gets will he get it? He got the 2 tanks. Okay, that's big. That'll be able to probably make this base safe for the time being.
Yeah, if Mind was to like reposition everything from the bottom to top middle, I think he could stop it. But there's too much of a threat sitting at bottom right for him to do that. But we do have more reinforcements coming in. This one tank is heroic here. The mines are going to connect onto so many zealots.
God.
You can see
Best knows he can make a Dragoon, right? He can clear those with Dragoons. We don't got to keep running our zealots over them. Come on, Best. Stop doing that, man.
He's got, I think he's spending all of his gas on Templars right now, so he doesn't really have the most gas. Now that's a fortified position. I don't think that can be busted, really, unless we have like a Storm Drop combo. And now, Mind realizing that, hey, the majority of your army is zealots. Well, I can win that battle. So he's now moving a lot of stuff to top left.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good play for Mind here. We see supplies are pretty close here, which is obviously going to be a favor for Mind. And if Mind can take this high ground and secure top left, I think that'd be a game-winning play for him.
Yeah, and the question to me was that move at bottom right now, Best is repositioning his units. If Mind sniffed that out, and he repositions all of his stuff, I think he'll easily win this battle with his 3-2 upgrades and D-Matrix. Here we go. This is what it probably all comes down to. The shuttle gets instantly blown up. Great D-Matrix. The Zealots are not really getting great connections. There we go. Storms on top of a lot of the tanks. That's what you're looking for. But the Zealots and the Goons are fizzling out, and he doesn't have the killing storm onto the back 5 tanks.
Yeah, and Best supply just plummets, man. He is almost sub 100. I think Mine may have done it. With this base falling, he'll be mining. It'll be pretty much 2.5 bases mining here for Best. And Mine can easily secure top left, and if he wants the middle of the map.
Yeah, he can start taking top left, like you said. Bottom right is probably close to mined out at this point, so Best is really, his last leg of econ is top right. Now that's going to be hard for Mine to knock down, but he doesn't have to knock that down. He just needs to take bases himself. You know, now that I'm looking at the map, a lot of times on Fighting Spirit, Terrans, when they struggle to take another main, they just take the center. Like, he can just take that base right there.
Yeah. I'm having flashbacks from 2007, man, playing against good Terran on this map that literally just sit here and just move slowly up. It's just impossible to break his Protoss, especially if we don't have something like carriers. It's just too hard to fight into these small choke areas.
Yeah, I've heard a few times that if you just sit there in an arc, it's hard to actually bust through, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Look at this tank count, and that's not even all of them. There's like 7 of them at the mineral only bottom middle.
Yeah, his tank count is just insane right now. Like you said, Best dropped the main. He killed nothing but his starport and the science facility. So that tank count just got out of hand.
Yeah, I don't... you were talking about stasis earlier being like what you need to take down tanks. I think you can get away with mass storm, but when the tank count is this high, you've got to have more than just storm. And Mind, he makes the situation even worse. Runs in 8 vultures, snipes both Templars. And now it's Terran on high ground. We were talking about how hard it is for Terran to deal with Protoss coming in from the high ground. But now it's Terran, you know, dishing out so much damage where Protoss is going to be struggling to attack uphill.
Yeah, man, and this is where I get worried for Best, because we have no late game tech, we have no Arbiter, so we can't even recall into the main to force Terran to pick up and move again. So how do you don't bust this area? Like, it's going to be impossible. He can come from 3 different angles with the shuttle. I don't think it matters. There's so much Terran on the high ground. There's just no way. But here we go. This is probably going to be the final move. Can Best get it done?
Well, he hits a lot of the vultures. They're taking a lot of damage. The problem is that tank line is so deep. Well, actually, the tank line is not that high anymore. If he can get some more storm connections, but he's not going to because the Templar gets poked down, and that means that Best is going to lose his entire army. He did get a lot of SCVs there, but look at the tanks reinforcing again.
Yeah, and we just don't have the eco to remax again. So if Mine can just hold his position for another minute or two, the game will end because Best will be starved out. He did not retake that 12 o'clock position or top left. Here we go. I think he's just sending his units in to try to get something done here, collecting his thoughts.
And that was a decent attack, but there's just way too many tanks. Best, I think, knows that his fate is sealed right now, unless, like you said, there's some type of miracle, like if there's a miracle recall. You know, we actually haven't even looked at Best main in like the past 10 minutes, but just based on the buildings, I don't think there's a Stargate even built at all. There's also a bunker bottom middle, so that can't be busted.
Yeah, we're just going to keep throwing into the middle of the map, trying to see if we could take it down. But I just don't see that being able to be possible. I don't know how we're going to be able to run in there with all these mines. Oh, some zealot bombs. Okay, we're getting some tanks cut down.
Well, surprisingly, mine supply, you know, isn't impossible to get through, right? Like, if it was like 160 or 170, you know, I think that's it. But it's, you know, it's actually manageable. 140, if you get maybe the best storms of your life, hit the SCVs and the tanks all at the same time, maybe. But unfortunately, Mines are already set up. The Zealots are eating a lot of them too, and they take big damage. D-Matrix comes in. Storm hits a couple of tanks, but unfortunately one of them was already D-Matrix. Now that's a big clump of tanks right there. Those are great storms, but again, it's just way too many tanks behind those. And there it is, GG. Mine! He is going to take game 1.
Yeah, that's big. I feel like taking the first game on best pick is really going to give Mind a little bit of like, all right, this is me. I could do this here. I'm going to get it done. So well played from him there.
Yeah, coming into the series, I was thinking if Mind wants to take this, he's got to at least get 1 win in the first 2 maps, because 76 coming in, even though actually I think Terran is surprisingly good on 76, but I think 76 is just such a good map for best style that I think he's going to be the favorite there. So I think this was a mandatory win to get a win in game 1 or game 2, because if you're down 2-0, then you go into game 76 and you're down 3-0, I don't know if you can come back from such a deficit, especially with Nemesis being an awkward map as the final map.
Yeah, I think that would be such a tall task, but man, he played really well here. I mean, this was really well done. That supply depot block was just so critical in the beginning for that 12 Nexus. I mean, I'm not sure Best expected that to happen.
Yeah, I totally forgot that that was even a possibility on Heartbreak Ridge, because so far this season, nobody has even attempted something like that. But yeah, that really caught Best off guard. He took a lot of damage there, but I think he played out of it quite well. Like, the more I thought about it, as I saw bottom right get more and more mined out, I'm sitting there like, dude, Mine, you're just going to run out of money, man, unless you do something about these bases. Luckily for him, there was just too much stuff. Too much stuff for Best sitting at the mineral only at bottom middle, where that initial like 3 tanks and a few vultures moving to top middle did a lot of damage that he could have mitigated if he had sent his whole army up there. But we're going into a break, and then we'll be coming back with game 2. Right, we are back, and we're going to be going into Game 2 in just a second.
It could be we should design some of those jackets for like the BSL players. We can tell Zero to, get some videos of the players doing their own shirts.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking during that clip that we were just watching? I was thinking, I probably will go 0-100 versus best, but I think I could take him in an art contest. I think we're similarly skilled in that aspect.
You think your drawing with the markers would be better? You can take it down.
I think I can hang with him in an art drawing contest for sure.
Oh man, you would design a better jacket. We'll have to have the Nyoken first best jacket contest, man. It'll be perfect.
What would I even draw on there? I don't know. Maybe. Well, I know what I would draw if I was drawing a jacket for Artosis. I would just draw a bunch of dragoons just sitting in an arc. That's what I would draw for him for sure.
Maybe you could draw on the simulator being taken, like a Terran CC there, but like the probe taking it on a 4-player map.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
it'd be perfect.
It would be perfect. Oh man. Well, we've got some Best fans in the audience. He is down 0-1. Mind had some stellar defense on Heartbreak Ridge. Great counter to the 12 Nexus, but Best played really well to play out of it. I actually thought he was in a good position until that mini recall happened where he just didn't get the trades that he wanted. But we got Vermeer coming up next, and I still think this is another good map for Best.
Yeah, I think Vermeer's a really good map for him. I think that area that's unbuildable by those Terran thirds, or just everyone's third, is definitely a bustable position. The Terrans have gotten better at putting tanks in the high ground behind it to kind of help navigate their way out. But if you have 2-3 speed shuttles, you could definitely get one up there with some zealots. So I think this definitely favors Best style in terms of early busts and kind of breaking different Terran. I think he likes that, so it'll be good.
Yeah, and I was watching some games from Light, and one of his ways to counter the shuttle play was going into Wraith. So I wonder if we'll actually see Mind build like 3 or 4 Wraith, try and pop the shuttles before they can even get even close to the tanks and the vultures. Have you run into that on the ladder?
I have not. The one thing I have run into is I think we watched that one game of Light and Snow or Mini together where he went like 3-4 Valkyries and they just evaporated the shuttles.
Yeah.
I have seen some Terran try to pull out a Valk or two, but not Wraith yet.
Yeah, after I saw that game, I tried it out, and actually we were doing like the NA night or whatever, and I played Jaeyun, and the Valkyrie ended up blowing up a couple of his shuttles. I remember Gypsy watching, and he thought I was trolling, but then both of the shuttles exploded, and he's like, oh my god, like the Valkyries actually deal a lot of damage to shuttles. That's definitely viable.
Yeah, they're crazy. Like you get 5 of them, you just, especially because the shuttles clump and fly together. Like you just can blow up 6 of them at once, and the Protoss is there scratching their head like, what happened?
Exactly. And our players are ready. Let's get into game 2. Mind already up 1-0 with great defense. Can he get a 2-0 lead? Or will Best strike back on Vermeer? Okay, in the bottom left, our green Protoss, it is Best. And in the top right, our Terran up 1-0, it is Mind. And of course, Best doesn't know the spawns, but if he did, I'm pretty sure we would see another 12 Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, cross map, it's just the perfect setup here for an actual 12 Nexus. I wouldn't blame him for trying again. I mean, series, the little mind games that go into it, but to do another 12 Nexus would be, I think, totally fine here. Unless mine decides to go for that epic BBS in the center, and then you just have the GG out, but
yeah.
You never know.
Oh, pylon in the main, so we are still just waiting to see. Oh, well, whenever I suspect that we could see 12 Nexus, I keep watching the probes, and actually Best has queued up multiple probes, and this could be another 12 Nexus.
This could be, yeah. We're going to have to wait to see if one more gets queued. If it is, then it will definitely be the 12 Nexus. Nope. Yeah, he's going to the 150. Nope.
Yep, no 12 Nexus. That probe was going pretty far ahead of the pylon, and I thought, okay, maybe he's scouting quickly while also queuing up the probes, but not the case this time. And he is going to go horizontally. Oh, and it looked like he may have actually gone for an end scout here if I looked at his mini-map correctly. So we'll see if it does actually go for a diagonal scout. Meanwhile, Mind, he is going for 12 gas, so no gasless, no crazy opener here. This is just going to be normal again.
Yeah, I think once a Best scouts where Mind is, I think he'll probably just stick to something standard, 21 Nexus. Play out from there. You can't send the probe out that's early to do a 19 Nexus, so probably very standard from him, something incoming.
Yep. We do see the probe and the SCV intercept in the center of the map, so now Best, of course, knows where Mind is going to find him second, and we'll see that, okay, not having to deal with the gasless expand, this is fine. We're just going to be facing the standard factory opener. Meanwhile, Mind doesn't have exactly the quickest scout, and I guess there is potential where maybe Best gets sneaky here, tries and goes Citadel. I have seen games where he does do one base Citadel.
Hey, it works. Can pull it out sometimes, especially if you get the first goon out to block and then just send the probe down there and just kind of look like you're going to take a Nexus. That's always a nice little tricky way. No range just yet.
Nope, no range yet. And probe comes in. Nope, he lets him in. So SCV gets in, we'll get a full scout off. Meanwhile, Nexus going down. Everything very normal. It was actually a 19 Nexus.
It was. He skipped the Dragoon altogether once he saw it was cross map. I didn't think he would go with a 19 Nexus, but because he sees that he is cross map, he has decided. Now, my experience when Terrans see this, they can do this early pressure with some Marines, a Vulture, because your range is so late. So we'll see if Mind opts to do some type of early pressure, or if he's just going to kind of let this go, because he has his CC down pretty early.
Yeah, I think because it's cross spawn, I don't think he's going to do that. What I'm more worried about for Best now is this SCV that's at bottom right. This really looks like it's going to be a starport SCV. Oftentimes you see that from players like Rush, and that is going to be the starport.
Wow. This is hard to play against this Protoss if you have your goons out trying to pressure, trying to clear mines, and all of a sudden they drop 4 vultures in your main. It could just end the game. Yeah, and it's a nice Best robotics, so maybe he will get his observer across the map quick enough to notice, like, hey, something's up, because Terran does have to make 4 vultures here.
Yeah, and I was looking at this starport positioning. At bottom right, that means he's got to go through the natural into the main. And that could be just a few extra seconds that Protoss needs to put down the critical SimCity with the pylons, potentially observatory, support bay, to actually fend off the vultures. So far, Best still has no idea what this is. He's only spotted 1 vulture. He hasn't spotted anything else.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about this dropship play, I feel like, is, as Terran, it's not a super big committal, but you need to get some damage done. Because you're investing a lot in the starport, the dropship, making sure you get the 4 vultures. You need to get some probes.
Oh yeah, you definitely got to get probes. Like, if you're playing somebody like Snow, and he sees you go starport, you do no damage, oh, that's not just going to be a 3rd Nexus. That's going to be like a 4th Nexus. He knows that he's just got a massive lead. Or he may just build a 3rd Nexus and go like carriers, right? Because all those vultures you built could have been tanks. That eliminates that threat of there being a massive push. Like, you can do all types of stuff if you don't do any damage. So we do have the dropship coming in pretty soon. Mines are already set up throughout the bottom side of the map. When you're Terran doing this particular move, you don't necessarily need mines because you're just suiciding the vultures on the probes anyway. So just get in there, try and deal as much damage to the probe line ASAP. Don't even worry about killing goons, and here we go. Let's see if you can get any damage done.
We're gonna fly through the natural. There are 2 Dragoons there, and like you Best may have sniffed this out a little bit, Nyoken. He's got the Dragoons in the main already. He might realize something's up, and we'll see how quickly he reacts.
Wow, I'm surprised that he unloaded every single probe at the natural, but he killed like 6 probes already. Then he just runs in, almost gets into the main. He's dealt so much damage already. He gets another probe.
Wow.
I think really what you're looking for when you do a drop like this is 7 probes. I think that's the magic number where you feel like you really did a lot of damage. And I think that was actually what he got there.
Yeah, he got a lot of probes. That was definitely a good drop. He forced a pull, so he lost mining time on top of losing all those probes. I think Mine will be extremely happy, and we've seen immediate turret ring going up for him. So once again, this Reaver will be denied. We're going back in for more.
Yep.
Another one.
Gets 1, 2. Handy gets out, and that Vulture has mines, so he can lay some more mines. Again, another worthwhile trade there, and the dropship didn't die. So that was definitely a great opener for Mind. And, you know, versus someone like Best, who's, you know, sometimes even has his 3rd Nexus already done by now. It hasn't even started.
Yeah, usually when you're going to play this style, you want your 3rd Nexus down by like 6:30, 6:45. So it's extremely delayed from where it should be. Oh my goodness, and we're face-checking mines again.
Well, we've got a strong counterattack. You got to remember, Terran invested a lot of time into Vultures and a dropship. So how many tanks can he really have here? There's not even a bunker. Does he have siege?
He should not have siege just yet. Usually Terran don't have it because they've invested so much gas into everything else. So things are getting interesting here. And oh my goodness, he just got it. But here comes the dropship in with the shuttle in with the Reaver and 2 Zealots. Good hit on the first tank. Oh my goodness.
He saves that tank. Well, he might save that tank. He should load it up in the dropship. The goons at the front are dealing a lot of damage. The Vulture is desperately trying to save that tank. Best has got a massive counterattack in the natural.
Oh my goodness.
This was the exact timing that Best was looking for. He dealt a lot of damage here. He got rid of a lot of the tanks. He is going to lose a lot of his goons. I guess I would like to see how many SCVs he got, because it didn't seem like he killed as many SCVs as I thought he was going to, but still, great attack from Best there.
Yeah, got a bunch of tanks. Didn't get as many SCVs as he wants. I still think that was favorable for Mind. I mean, he didn't lose that many SCVs. He lost 2 tanks. Best lost the speed shuttle, the Reaver, 4 or 5 goons. I think it's still okay for Mind.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this was a favorable trade, and you can see it now reflecting in supply. 73 to 73, that's really never where you want to be as Protoss. Also in Mind's main, he rushed a pretty freaking fast armory because his science facility is already done, so that means he's going to have 2-1 coming in pretty soon. So he's really crushing his build right now, and hopefully Best didn't forget about this drop, and it looks like he hasn't, because he's got 2 goons set up in position.
Yeah, these dropship play can be really, really annoying after a while. But 4 vultures, 3 vultures, okay. We got 1 probe. Uh-oh.
Okay, and he lays some mines.
This Reaver doesn't have any scarabs yet. Oh, we're getting some harass done.
You get some more damage at mid-left. These vultures have definitely been worth... Oh my gosh, he's transferring probes back to the natural. He's not mining his 3rd anymore.
Oh my goodness, I don't know if that's a misclick where he just panicked and, you know, just screened, went from 1 F2 to F3 to went from Nexus to Nexus and doesn't realize it, but he is now oversaturated at his natural, and you know what, Nyoken? It's going to pay off, because he had no Dragoons here. He would have lost all those probes, man.
He's next level. He was one step ahead of everybody, but unfortunately, there's still a gap there. The Vultures get in again, and they're just wreaking havoc.
Oh my goodness. This reminds me of... Oh my goodness. No, Nyoken.
Oh my god.
No. Okay. I thought we were going to see an epic fail for Best there. If that mine would have exploded on those probes, you probably should just GG out right there.
Oh man, this is a wild game. The Vulture Harassment has done so much damage. Protoss's build is so stagnated, and he is stuck literally with Gateway Man with no tech at all. Like, he doesn't even have his Nat Gas, so there's no way for there to be Templars anytime soon. Meanwhile, Mind has started his +2 weapon, and he should be moving out maybe within 2 minutes or so. He doesn't have that many factories, so maybe it will be a little bit longer than that, but he's taking his 3rd base right now too.
Yeah, I'm really concerned for Best here. We had 4 gateways. I think we just went up to about 8. The unit production right now is low. The probe count definitely has taken a beating, and Mine is going to be safely securing his 3rd base with no problem. One of the concerns we had for Mine was, right, he was going to get busted here. No chance. Just no chance.
Yeah, the only way that this shuttle bust is going to work is if he drags those mines into the tanks. If he can get some crazy drag, then yes, I could see the miracle happening. But for now, I think this is a smart move to not risk it. That's an expensive unit in the shuttle. There's at least 1 Reaver in there. And of course, there's more shuttles behind it. So we are going to have Shuttle Man going to try and bust at some point. But right now, there's really no angle of attack.
Yeah, I don't see how he can come in here and bust this base right now with the amount of units that he has. I mean, we're pretty much purely Dragoon with 2 shuttles that have Zealots and 1 that has a Reaver. I don't know if this is bustable. We're putting the supply depot wall down. Things are going to get very difficult, but it may not matter. Best may just go for it anyway, man. He might feel a little behind and feel some pressure to do something.
Yep, it looks like he really wants to attack, and he is going to come in here right now, and let's see what damage he can get done. There's no Vultures, so he does unload right on top of the tanks. Oh my gosh, great focus fire, eliminates the Reaver instantly. I thought that Reaver could at least get a few SCV kills, but he got nothing.
I mean, we lost, what, 3 tanks there for 3 shuttles, a Reaver, and 8 Zealots? That was definitely insane from Mind. I mean, he insta-targeted that Reaver Nyoken. That thing literally was like, I'm here, and then it was gone.
Yeah, and then I'm
blinked.
I'm blown up instantly. And Terran's about to hit their 2-1 power spike. He did hit it just now. So he could consider actually attacking, but because of how the game has gone, where Terran isn't even near max, he may be just waiting for 3-2. He knows he's done crippling amounts of damage with the Vultures. He knows that there cannot be high-tech units, so he can afford to sit here and wait. He gets in again, kills some more probes. Somehow these Vultures just don't die. All of them are just splitting the damage. Like, that was, I think, the first Vulture he lost in that entire run-by attempt.
Yeah, and then we're going to deny this 5th base too as well. I mean, Mine has been insane with the Vultures, man. He's just been finding extreme value, and we see the factory count going up to that 9 for the 3 bases. I mean, wow.
What do you think Protoss needs to do to get back in this? Like, can he go Arbiter, or is it too late for that? Does he have to rely on Storm, rely on these shuttles?
Yeah, he needs to rely on Storm. I'm actually surprised he didn't try to get Storm a little bit faster since he had the speed shuttles, because one way to help yourself get back into these games is just Storm drop the mineral lines.
Oh.
Just take out as many SCVs as you can. But I'm saying that, and right now Mind is moving into position here to siege this 3rd base, man, or 4th base. Wow.
Yeah, I think Best missed his opportunity because there was like 12 Vultures in the center of the map. Now the army of Terran looks ridiculous, but as I was watching them initially move, I was like, wow, that's not actually that much. But now that everything is synced up, this is going to be so hard to engage into. We still don't know, are there any Templars here? That's a Zealot unload. Mines are just dealing so much damage to the Zealots. Good control of the Vultures, get into the back, but the Zealots, they get on top of a lot of the tanks. Does he have enough to push through, though? All that's left is Zealots, really. There's like 2 goons, and that's it.
This is going to be close here, but I think Mind has done it. Oh, what's it? Could there be a Reaver in this? Nope, just more Zealots.
Yeah, it looks like Protoss may barely... Okay, never mind. That's a lot of stuff coming in for Terran. I thought he would be able to hold, but when the army is just pure Zealot, I don't think that's enough to get through. Oh my gosh, he's going to eat massive mines again, and there's just more Zealots coming. There's still no goons.
my goodness, yeah, we can't bust this with just purely zealots here. I mean, we may hold on for a little bit, but as the vultures keep rallying in and they produce very, very quickly, even compared to a zealot, we're just not going to be able to get it because we're not killing any tanks. Oh, they're the first 2 Templar.
Yeah, and look at this one Wraith that's going to kill the shuttle, man, because there's nothing to stop it.
And
he does get it.
He saved it. Yeah. We saved something, but oh my goodness, look at this rally here for Mind, man. His macro is insane. Usually that's what we're saying about Best, but Mind is matching it, and you can see that right now in the supply count, and Mind doing what he needs to do. He's also taking a 4th base behind this. He is in really, really good shape right here.
Yeah, +3 is also about to kick in for Terran. Best has to have the storms of his life to get back into this game. He's trying to take a 5th base. The Vultures are just insane.
Oh my god.
Like, he's gotten so many probe kills. He intercepts the Templar also. Remember on Heartbreak Ridge, he intercepted like 8 Templars also. So these Vultures are just ridiculous today.
Oh my, yeah. I mean, it's really hard to storm when you have no Templars, man.
Yeah.
Really, really hard. I mean, it's a great spell, but if you don't have anyone to cast it, you just can't make it happen.
+3 is done for Terran. I saw he's already instantly upgraded +3 armor, so he's going to have max upgrades in just a second. That tank count, like you said, it really didn't get reset that much, so he's probably sitting at upwards of 15, 16 tanks right now. The comp is still, well, it's a little more balanced this time. Now I see more goons are mixed in, but he's down 40 supply. Like, this is going to be so hard to get bust. At least he'll be coming in from high ground, I guess.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's going to matter with all the mines. I mean, he's going to have to funnel through that high ground down, and we saw that he's Zealot Man, and now Best has decided, you know what, I cannot stop this army. There are so many tanks, I'm just going to counter. I just don't think his army's big enough. I think mine is going to set up behind that supply depot wall, and he's just going to hold this as well. Look at the units just get funneled in between the supply depot and the wall, and the Zealots are pretty much gone already.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like a floated racks or depot wall like this. It's like, well, what's the counter to Zealot Goon? Surprisingly, it's just building more depot. Like, these goons have done almost no damage. That was a good storm. But Mind, look at this! He killed a base and he's already at the rally point.
Yeah, I don't know how Best is going to hold this. I think we're going to see Mind just run him over here. Even though he's losing that command center, it doesn't matter. We're going to bust this base, and like you said, we're on the rally. We're going to contain Protoss so they can never leave their natural.
So he blew up 2 bases. None of the probes transferred either, by the way. So that's like 30 probes that were lost. Best is mined out in his main and natural pretty much. So he's on 1 base mining. Meanwhile, Mind, even though he lost his 3rd base, he still has top middle. He's taking top left. He obviously has a huge supply advantage. He has a massive upgrade advantage also. Do we even know what Protoss' upgrades are? Maybe +2 weapon? I would be surprised if he has +3.
We saved that command center too, Nyoken. Wow.
Oh, and he saved the CC, yes. So I think you actually got to engage this army right here as Best. Try and hope that you can get some big mine explosions, but that's just... Okay, maybe. There's a lot of cells coming in.
Oh, what a defense matrix.
That was almost pure tank. Like, not even vulture support, and it didn't matter. GG comes out, and Mind, he is up 2-0.
Dude, man, his vultures have been insane. Just absolutely crushing Best at every turn, forcing probe pulls. Best was so flustered, he pulled all of his probes from his 3rd back to his natural. I mean, it worked out because more vultures came in, but I mean, he's everywhere. Mind is everywhere.
Yeah, these vultures are just doing ridiculous amounts of damage. I think the way Best is playing is fine, but we've got to limit the damage on the vultures, whether that means building more pylon walls or something, because right now they're just doing way too much damage. Like, that's what's saving Best here. Even on Heartbreak Ridge, he's running in there getting tons of probe kills, sniping Templars, and nothing changed on Vermeer.
Yeah, I mean, even if he gets a little bit early of a forge, that's one way to kind of deal with the drops and just put a cannon in your nap, put a cannon in your main with the pylon walls. At least that would help. He's relying on his units to just sit there, and the vultures are just ignoring them or running around. So he really needs to combat these vultures in a different way.
Yeah, this is just so hard to deal with because Mind is just playing so well. at least he's not going to have, well, I was going to say at least he's not going to have to worry about it on 76 because he can't run up the ramp, but that's a map where you're building dropships, so he is going to have to worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, this map, obviously, we know it gets a little bit wild, so we'll see what Mind wants to do out here. But right now, Mind has been dominating in the air with these dropships. Like, the shuttle versus dropship war goes definitely heavily favored to Mind so far.
Yeah, this is weird. The fact that 76 is now the third map, I was not expecting Mind to be up 2-0. Now it gets extremely weird. 76 is such a weird map. Can you imagine Best going down 3-0, man?
I can't imagine that. I didn't think that'd be the case. I thought we'd see maybe a split here by now, but going to 76 and being, okay, like, we expect Best to take a little bit of a lead and Mine will jump back. But if Mine were to take this game, Best is in serious trouble.
Yeah, and we already had an epic game, Terran versus Protoss on 76. It was Light versus Best. So, like, in that game too, Light had chances to win. Like, there was a real shot that he was going to actually take down Best. And the way Mind is playing, especially with his dropship play and vulture harassment, I could see another scenario where we could have a long drawn out game. Terran gets the middle. Protoss struggles to deal with the middle, because that was really what saved Light in that game, was he was mining the middle for so long. It was just flat out so hard for those shuttles to unload. Do you remember those tiny, like, they're not hills, those tiny walls that Best was trying to unload on that map, and he just couldn't unload anything. So Terran just held the middle for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what he has planned. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. You said he likes to do some of that carrier play. Could he go a 2-base carrier? Like something like that to start. I mean, I just don't know. Carriers versus rates. It gets a little weird, man.
I think carriers could be fine. The reason I say that is when you're Terran playing versus carriers, you want to push with 5, 6, 7 fact, but you can't get up that ramp. So how are you going to push into the main and actually kill anything? So I think carriers could be an option.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, do you take a 12 next here? Do you just jump the probe early, go for the 12 nexus down the on that little base behind? I mean, I'm not sure.
Could very well be the case.
I'm very excited fan.
I know, he's loving it, man. He's loving that hot 6.
He must have drank 3 of them. That's why he's like that right now. He's amped up, baby. He's amped up. He is ready to go.
Indeed, he is. Well, I'm trying to think.
I never had a hot 6 Nyoken. Have you had one?
I have, man. I had the white one. Was it the white one? I had either the white one or the teal one. I don't see the teal one on the stage right now, but they sell them everywhere. I had a convenience store literally 30 seconds from my apartment, and you could just walk in there and buy a couple. It had like a raspberry flavor. Raspberry is actually my favorite flavor, so I liked it.
Okay, all right, they're good then. Did you feel energized? Were you ready to go?
Oh yeah, I felt like I could not only conceptually 2400, but actually 2400. We're gonna be going into a break and then we'll be back. And we are back, and we're getting into our third map, the most exciting map for me. It is going to be 76, and that man right there, he is up 2-0, crushing it today.
Yeah, man, he looks very, very good. I'm really surprised that he just took a 2-0 start and in dominant fashion. I mean, for me, these games were not as close as I thought they were going to be, considering I thought that Best would be on the forefront here with some wins in the column for him.
Yeah, but look at that. Best, he's had enough, man. The jacket is off. He's got the champion shirt on. He wants the title, but he is getting blasted right now by Mind. He's desperately got to get a win here because fourth map is Sylphid, and we all know that's a pretty darn good Terran map. So if he does not win here, there's a real chance that Mind could win 4-0 because that's the map that Mind blasted Bisu on. You remember that?
I did. The Vulture movement in that game was also insane, man. So, I mean, I do fear for Best if he does not take this game down in 76. I mean, I think he needs a win here. For me, he absolutely needs a victory.
Yeah, and because of how well Mind has been dealing with the shuttles, you know, we talked about it before the break. Could this be the time that we go for the switch up? Could we see carriers? Could we see arbiters? I at least want to see something high tech, like a real high tech unit, like either one of those.
Yeah, I think he needs some late game tech. Like I said, Best is known for gateway man and speed shuttles, but it's not working. Mind is prepped. He's ready. He's put Best on the back foot. So, I mean, you definitely got to mix it up. Luckily, he is on 76, which is his pick. So I'm assuming he has something prepped. I don't know if we'll see more of just shuttle man and drops everywhere. Or like you said, we're going to finally see some high tech units. Like, let's get into it. I'm really curious, man. I could see Mind do something crazy this game. Like, you know, it's 76, you're up 2-0. The stage is set to do something crazy, you know? Like, we could see that old stim rush like we saw earlier in the tournament. So why not? This would be the time, I think, to take it out.
I got a bold prediction for you, Razz. I think this is the BBS game.
This is it?
I think Mind's going to think Best is going to 12 Nexus, and I think he's going to BBS. I think that's going to happen. I'm calling it. We haven't seen a BBS Terran versus Protoss. At least I haven't seen it in ASL in several seasons. I think this could be the time.
Oh man, I think that'd be awesome. Pull it. Why not? I'm a Protoss fan, but I love to see some wild builds. I love when it gets a little crazy.
Well, it looks like there must be some type of issue, whether it's keyboard or mouse right now. Oh, maybe not. Okay, let's get into game 3. It is going to be 76, Best versus Mind. And in the bottom right position are Brown Protoss. It is Best. And in the top right, it is Mind.
I don't know, man. I see Best's face. He looks a little flustered.
Well, I mean,
I know it doesn't happen for pros, but he looks flustered.
Yeah, it's just not going his way today. The Vultures are just doing so much damage. And we'll see if there's any early move out from the SCVs. So far, I don't see anything just yet. You know, this is an interesting map with the additional, or with that mineral patch, and there goes the SCV! Razz! Oh, it's a depot. I'm sad.
Oh, no. Come on, Mind. You gotta appease us. You gotta make it happen. It would be perfect, because look, we have Best going for the 12 Nexus behind his mineral line.
Man, I like when that SCV went out, and I was like, thinking to myself, did I call it again? Did I just know?
Oh, you're the curse of the commentator, Nyoken. Everything used to be always goes opposite, goes against us, but I would have loved to see it, man. That would have been wild.
Well,
Nothing to lose. Nothing to lose.
I know, man. And it's going to be the normal opener that we've seen on this map. It looked like it's a 10-10-10 or like 10-10-11, something along those lines. There's the Nexus going up, obviously.
Yeah. He said we got a nice little wall here for a mine, so maybe he'll get tricky with it as well. Still potential to do something crazy for him, knowing that it's 76 and Best most likely going to go for a 12 Nexus here.
Yeah, I'm thinking about these spawn positions. The expansion for Mind at top middle is far away from Protoss, whereas the expansion for Protoss is towards Terran, and it seems like that would be a slight advantage for Terran. I'm not sure though, because this is such a way completely different map compared to any other, and we do actually still have 2 SCVs on gas, so this is going to be for a starport, I imagine, but I don't think this is going to be 2-port raid.
Yeah, I would imagine he's going to do something like that, and Best's not going to be able to get in here, so he will be in the dark. Let's see if Best blocks. I would like to see Best block this with a probe at least, but he doesn't, just to kind of keep Mind in the dark. But Mind is probably going to know exactly what's up, seeing what's in Best space at this moment. I mean, do you go just one base starport now? Can just drop vultures and try to harass and go from there?
I think he's going to get the starport just to take another expansion, but I'm seeing more Marines being built. And, okay, so we have 3. I thought he was going to continue to build more than 3, but not going to be the case. He's going to float down his factory. And will he build an add-on here? Wait, is he expanding?
What if he lands, what if he'd land the factory in the natural of Best?
2-fact with the starport?
2-fact Goliath drop? Could it be?
Well, this is going to backfire because the second factory is so far forward. He's going to push this back. Oh, does he see the second factory? He does not. He does not. Oh, he sees it now. And this, oh my gosh, this is devastating for Terran now, because now the whole game plan is given away.
Oh, wow. I mean, can Best stop it in time? He's going to need to build a pylon at that natural, and he's going to have to get a cannon up, because if he doesn't, what's he...
Wait, what? Oh, is he going to drill down and try and force it up? Do it.
No
way. Do it.
No way. No.
Oh my god. I've never seen that before. Never.
Me neither.
Let's see if he can get in.
I didn't know. Can you mess with the terrain enough to jump it?
Well, apparently you can, because there's no way he would be wasting this much time with that particular move. Luckily, the goon was out in time regardless, but that was a critical probe scout to see that this is coming. Now, he may not realize that there's also a starport here. Okay, he does, because there's the cannons, and those cannons, I think, will be able to range even a tank if it unloads at the very, very backside of the base.
Yeah, wow. I'm a little bit still shocked that he was about to mess with the terrain enough that he could jump that vulture up there. And like you said, if he's trying it, he knows that it's doable. So that's wild. But we move on here into this 2-tank Marine drop. We'll see what he can get done. Could he drop on the other side and range the Nexus with the tank? I think he could.
I don't know. Those cannons are pretty far forward, but I think Protoss is in trouble because he doesn't have range. He doesn't have a Reaver yet. The drop is already here. Marines can walk up. So if the Marines get up here with this army... Okay, well, actually, there's no tank here. I'm a little bit surprised at that. But now he's going to elevator the tanks. And also, there's still no range. There's no observer. Well, that's dangerous to land right there. But there is a cannon, at least. I think if he builds
cannon may be the saving grace.
Yeah, I think it is also. If he builds a bunker, I think he's in a good position. If he has... Does he have siege?
He's upgrading it. I saw the machine shop was spinning. Range.
Oh, that SCV.
Oh, no.
Oh, the goon's going to die. There's only a Reaver. Well, the dropship is not here to help out because it's trying to load up those vultures. So this is the perfect timing for Best. I think Best is going to hold this. Just barely. He holds it. And GG comes out, and that was critical for Best to get the win there.
Yeah, Best needed that. He needed some kind of relief from the ongoing onslaught that was happening. So I mean, really well done from him to hold that there, the reroute just in time. But mine, with an interesting build, man, just went for it.
Yeah, I liked it. I think that if that SCV is not in range of that cannon where it was building the bunker, maybe it could have actually gotten up, and 4 Marines in a bunker, yes, the tanks probably would have died as the probes and goons just run by the bunker, but it would have been annoying to deal with. He would have lost a lot of probes there, but of course Terran was mega all in with that, so may not have changed the outcome in the end, but really good defense there from Best. I was worried because, like I said, I don't think he had range initially, but the Reaver came in at the perfect time.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have had siege, I think immediately, I think that attack could have even gotten a little more crazy because he could have just backed up and built a bunker by the siege tanks, but maybe not. Maybe the Reaver just would have been fine.
Well, that means that we don't have to worry about a 4-0 Razz because we've got a series now. Best strikes back. Now we're going to be going into another standard map, which is going to be Sylphid, and this is pretty balanced. You know, Terran is surprisingly strong, but I still like Protoss on this map quite a lot.
Yeah, I think it's one of those maps, as the game gets later, it favors Terran a little bit more. Because if Terran can kind of cut off some of the avenues in which the Protoss army can attack, which because of the way the terrain is built, they get stronger and stronger. But Protoss has so many options early. There's so much surface area in the main for Reaver drops, recalls. We even see a lot of Protoss go recall before stasis to try to get that timing in to happen. Even like Best likes these mass shuttle play into busting that third while Terran try to move out of their natural. Very doable. Very doable on this map. So a lot of options for Protoss.
Yeah, and I do agree with the sentiment that as the game gets longer, I think it is a bit better for Terran because as they start taking more bases, like, those middle bases where it has a gas, when you take that base, it also defends your mineral only. Like if you start setting up turrets there to prevent recalls, if you take one of the middle bases that's in between your main, that also helps for defending recalls. So if we do have another long drawn out game, which we may have because mine has gotten, to the 20-25 minute mark, both in Heartbreak Ridge and Vermeer. I still like his chances, but with it being a 3-player map, Best does expand quite a lot. If he can get another main, put down 5-6 gateways, get into like the 20 gate count that Protoss is really scary with, maybe he can starve Terran out at some point.
Yeah, I think definitely very, very doable. Doable for both. Like you said, I think if this map can be either or, so I think it's been interesting to see what we do. But I think back to that BSU game, and mine was all over the place with vultures again, and that has been Best's weakness today.
Yeah, we'll see what he comes up with on this map. Is he going to continue with Shuttle Man, or will he try to go into more Arbiters? I think Sylphid's a great map for Arbiters. Carrier's also very strong too, with all the ledges, all the middle ground bases, all the bases that are out of vision, makes it tough to deal with. And I'm thinking back to games that we saw not just in ASL but BSL. Remember, like Mihu versus DeWalt. We had probably the best game of all time on Sylphid between those two players. And DeWalt attempted to play Shuttle Man, but the chokes on Sylphid are just so tight, like on that high third ground base. It looks like there's not a lot of defense there, but there's just a billion mines, and you just trade so ineffectively.
Yeah, I mean, it's once Terran gets set up there, it's hard. You got to catch him on the move out, and if you don't, it's kind of got to push it back. And I feel like once Terran secures that third, they can finally start taking up and go to that fourth. So it's definitely a very delicate balance of when you can attack as Protoss and once Terran gets set up. So in that game on BSO, you're right, one of the most epic BSO games we've seen between DeWalt and Mihu, and it literally went down to the wire of like 35 supply versus 35 supplies. So this map can really get us into late crazy games as well.
Yeah, for sure. And we've got a lot of Best fans in the audience. In fact, that sign that had C with his surprise face, what it said was Best is a monster. So I agree, man. If he can get his econ rolling, he is definitely a monster. But mine today has really shut down the econ of Best quite well, getting so many probe kills, so many Templar kills. Maybe finally this can be the map where he gets rolling.
Yeah, Listen, Best knows what to do. He knows how to play. He didn't make it here by luck. He's been playing really well. So if he can just kind of get himself flowing, deal with these vultures, I really feel like he can make it happen and get through. Like, no problem. He could be able to bust mine. He should be feeling good now coming off of that win there.
I was wondering what was taking so long. I was like, man, are we going into a break or what? But actually, we're just going straight into game 4. So we are about to get into it in just a second. Looks like both players setting up their keyboard and mouse, getting into the game, and then we'll get into game 4.
Yeah, I think Best was away from his chair for a second there. Maybe we had a little restroom break, Nyoken.
Could have been.
Get his hands warm.
All right, let's go, man. It is time for game 4. We could put Mind one game away, or we could tie up the series. Okay, in the top middle, our Protoss, it is Best. And in the bottom right position, our Terran, it is Mind.
I wonder if we'll see some early Zealot aggression. I know we haven't really been seeing much of it because the Zealots have not been getting anything done, but maybe he'll try to mix it up, pressure Mind a little early.
Yeah, I think Sylphid is a good map for forward gate, and oftentimes when I do see players like Best play Sylphid, this map in particular does lead to a lot of forward gate play, and we do get a look at Sylphid's stats this season, and it is actually 3-1 in favor of Terran, and there, oh, I thought that was going to be the forward gate.
I thought so too. He's just gonna, he may still be able to build that into his nat and get it like slightly forward, but normally you want to do it so you can kind of wall off as well, but he's hoping to pile on scout here. He's hoping to find mine first and do a little gas deal.
Yep, not going to happen this time around, so a little bit of luck on Mine's side. Best is going to... Okay, just gateway right at the entrance there. Alright, that's fine. Everything normal. Meanwhile, Mind going to put down that barracks.
Yeah, everything very standard. Usually, you don't want to probe scout and forward gate if you're gonna do like a 9 gate, because I feel like it hurts your eco a lot. So he probably just wanted to play it out standard, search early, see if you get a gas deal, just take a standard 10 gateway and get back to mining with that second probe.
And we do see 12 gas coming in from Terran, so everything just normal. Again, not being greedy, not going to go for gasless here. Best also just playing a normal build. What was that, like an 11 or 12 gas from him, so he's not going to do anything wild like 3 zealots, you know, into core or something crazy.
You know, man, I think if you're Mind, this is okay, like, right? This is what you want. You want these standard type games here because in both of the standard games so far, you've dominated. You might as well just keep hitting your build, keep doing what you're doing. Nothing super tricky, and he's been fine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only real tricky thing he did was, I guess, the depot wall, which I don't think is that tricky on Heartbreak Ridge, and the starport on Vermeer. But again, starport is a normal thing that Terrans do quite often. Now, I was a little excited to see 3 on gas in the main for mine, but he did pull off now, and it is just going to be a normal expansion.
Oh, you wanted a little 2-fac action?
Yeah,
you're ready for that, man?
I want to see the Artosis special.
Oh, dirty Terran tricks out here. Dirty Terran tricks.
Oh, SCV's going to come in here. Not really see anything unusual. Doesn't confirm a 3rd pylon. So I guess for now maybe he could be worried about that. But we know that Protoss doesn't need the 3rd pylon just yet. So SCV going to exit the base. Probably come back in a little bit later.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Best Center right away, because he's going to want him to try to force a bunker out. But I think we may have made 4 Marines in the Vulture, so we're not as worried. I think he notices that, like, hey, there are 4 Marines, I can't pressure this, so I'll just kill the scouting SCV and drop down the Nexus. All standard stuff so far.
Yep, there's the Nexus, there's the Vulture, and the Command Center coming up, so very normal openers from both sides. And thinking back into previous games, Best didn't pressure with his goon at all, like in any game. So he's probably not going to do that this game either. So that may mean Mine can get away with another non-bunker. Remember Vermeer? He didn't build a bunker at all, and he just got away with absolute murder. This time around, he does build it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I know he has the 4 Marines to hold the first goon, but if 2-3 goons come marching down here, you don't have a bunker, I feel like you're just dead. So it's good that he has decided that's the way to go. Just another early robo here from Best, not going with the 2-gate or anything, just getting their early robotics, wants his observers out, wants it checked. It's a pretty fast armory now.
Yeah, that's like a 420 armory, so that's, I'm trying to do it in my head, that's like an 1130 2-1 timing, so that's extremely fast. That means likely we're going to have Terran camping into 3-2, or it could be a 2-1 7-fact, because 7-fact hits really strongly at around 1130 also. But we actually surprisingly have a move out now. We do have 3 goons out. It is only 4 Marines, 1 tank. Vulture should have mines pretty soon.
Yeah, I think this attack is going to be held pretty easily, but Mine just setting up outside over there.
Yeah, I think he's waiting for the mine upgrade so he can lay a couple on his retreat path in case he has to back off. That's exactly what he's done. Okay, well actually he's not pushing at all, so it was just to get control of this position, be able to lay those mines, and now he's most likely going to back off. There's the +1 armory coming in, or the +1 already coming in. We do see Mind is already taking his gas also, so his mineral income is going to be quite crippled with this opener, but obviously his upgrades are going to be ridiculously quick.
Yeah, I was going to say very early second gas there, but he may have something planned out, like you said. The 7-fact +1 timing would be really strong here. Not a lot of space for Protoss to engage right away, and not a lot of time for them to make that decision of when to pull the trigger to attack that Terran army, because the way the map is set up, he has a direct route right to Best base.
Yep, and I like Best's build this time. He's more diligent with the observers, clearing out the mines already. He's already got his 3rd Nexus up. If we think back to Vermeer, he didn't even start his Nexus until like 7:30, so he's already like a minute and a half ahead of that. We've got 2 facts going to complete pretty soon. eBay's already done. Academy coming in, so pretty normal build overall, other than the extremely fast armory.
Yeah, I'd like to see if Best is going to drop a Citadel soon. Like, this would be around the timing he'd want to be able to get that Arbiter to have a stasis if he is going to play Arbiter. Or if he's just going to continue to just go with Gateway Man again.
I think this is Arbiter, because at the top left side of Best base, that looks like a Citadel got placed. 7-minute Citadel is pretty much, oh, well, that's not a Citadel. Okay, so it is going to be Support Bay Forge again. And that means that it is probably going to be shuttle play one more time.
Yep, we're going to go right back into that shuttle play. One thing nice about Sylphid for Protoss with the shuttle play is, like, this area right here you can fly into. You can, because if Terran decide I'm just going to take a 3rd, you can drop in the main, force them to move units and hit the front as well. So he'll have some options with his shuttles, not just actually dropping on units, but going into the actual main base, trying to snipe buildings. I like Mine's placement of his armory, how you put it below the minerals instead of on top, because that's more likely where... oh no. Come on, Nyoken. Come on, man!
I don't know how these vultures get damaged like this. Every time I play Terran versus Protoss, they always got the pylon wall completely set up. They got goons in position, but he gets like 3 or 4 probes right there for just 2 vultures, and one of them was heavily damaged. So just free kills for him pretty much. He's not going to be dissuaded from taking his 4th base though. He's already got a probe going to top left.
That shuttle driver's going to get fired, man. He didn't pick up his cargo. There we go. He went back for it.
Yeah, that's a key unit to put into that shuttle.
Yeah, we really need to get it there, man. We can't just let it go. But did Mine skimp a little on turrets this game? I feel like, oh, well, we went with the armory and we immediately scanned and killed the observers. Dude, mine has been so diligent with killing observers and clearing vision from Best, who he knows already doesn't make a lot of observers. So, I mean, that's really been good from him.
And I actually thought he was going to go for it right there. There's actually an opening at the top side of the Dragoons. And we may have found an opening at the bottom side of Mine's base. Here comes that shuttle. Tanks in siege mode will splash SCVs pretty quickly. Doesn't risk it though. He does not unload the Zealot. And we do actually have a command center coming in. So it's not going to be the 7th fact. It is probably still going to be 3-2.
Yeah, and I think Best recognized it a little with the observers, seeing that early second gas that we were going to have 3rd command center. He saw there's only 3 factories, so he took his 4th base right away, which I think is good. I would love to even see him send the a probe already to mid-left to try to start taking the other main, knowing this is probably going to go into a later style game.
Yeah, we may see it, and I wondered if he was going to intercept these probes, and he does, and he's going to get like at least half of them. He is going to lose 5 vultures though, but he does kill... You gotta assume that was probably like a 12 probe transfer, so kills like 9 or 8 of them. Really good catch there.
Nyoken, it breaks my heart every time I see these vultures just spraying down the probes. Just absolutely crushing them, man. What is going on here? Come on, Best. Protect those things, man.
The crazy part is there were goons right there. It's like the one opening that Terran has. Terran finds the hole and gets damage done. And of course, 2 goons die to just a couple mines.
I'm crying on the inside. Soon to be the outside for Best with all these damage he's taking from vultures and mines, man. Come on.
Well, we do have
the supply count is close already, Nyoken. I mean, I know it's 140 to 116, but for this point of the game for Protoss, usually they're a little bit more ahead, especially when you have so many gateways and you're on 4-base gateway, man.
Yeah, just a 30 supply lead versus a Terran that's going heavy upgrades. This is not where you want to be. You really would be hoping that you could be a little bit closer or a little bit higher in supply so you could go for a bust. Now, I love what Best is, or what Mind has done here, is he's got a bunker. And that's going to soak up a lot of hits. It may not actually kill any units, but at least it's going to buy time. And we're going to have, I think, a double-pronged attack. An attack into the main, try and draw units out of position, and then try and attack this 3rd base. But mines are set up, but luckily for Best, he didn't unload instantly. So he gets in here. Reaver is critically alive also. Can he knock down the armory? That would be fantastic for him. But look at that bunker! The SCV drill glitches all the zealots out. And he kills the Reaver.
And he repaired that bunker perfectly, man. The zealots didn't kill anything. Oh my goodness, what a hold from Mine, man. Wow.
Dude, that was absolutely sick from Mine. And Best, these attacks are just not working out. Like, remember Vermeer? He had a good attack when Terran had no bunker. That ended up not working out either. Now Terran's already got 2-1. Look at this, and you haven't done any damage to him?
Yeah. We've done no damage. We've thrown away a lot of expensive units. We've thrown away shuttles. And Mine's going to get to this place again, Nyoken, where he has such a massive army with serious upgrades versus gateway units. You just can't fight with Protoss like that.
Yeah, luckily this time for Best, he at least has a lot of gateways. But again, shuttle bomb in here. Okay, that was a good trade. He's going to pick off a couple. Actually, he only picks off 1 tank. He's just going for it. He cleared out all the mines. He knows that a lot of the units are out of position, but just like in the BSL Mihu versus DeWalt, like, you just can't attack into this. It's so tiny. Tanks just melt everything.
Yeah, the tanks are just going to absolutely destroy those funneled up Dragoons and Zealots coming in. And the Vultures are already on hold position by the tanks. Like, you're just not going to bust this. We see Best finally taking a 5th base, but I wonder if Mine's going to pull the trigger soon, man, when he just hits 3-2 immediately, if he's just going to go.
Yeah, he's definitely going to attack at 3-2. He'll be maxed. His 3-2 should be kicking in around 15 minutes flat, something like that, if he hit +3 instantly. We see that the Arbiter Tribunal just finished, so it's going to take almost 2 minutes to build that, then about another minute to get 1 stasis. So there's going to be 1 stasis and Storm to deal with the 3-2 timing.
Yeah. I mean, it's just too much. I mean, we see Templar as well. Maybe if Best catches Mine, not Siege, and he can get that good stasis in the back and Storms in the front, maybe. We'll see if he can get that done. It's a very big maybe, though.
And now, even though Best took 4 bases quite quickly, you can see he's kind of stagnated on these 4 bases. He's just now attempting to take mid-left. So there's still not that overwhelming gateway count that we theorize on maps like Sylphid, where they take the other main faster than Terran. They can put down 5 to 10 gateways over there. Protoss is even going to have this base denied. So I'm worried for Best. I think he's going to have the stasises of his life, or storms of his life, to just keep this Terran army at bay.
Yeah, because Best has to get to the left side of the map. He has to make it harder, because if Mine can just push directly into Best's natural, and Best can engage that army, the game will end, because he won't be able to ever get out of his base. He'll be so stuck and funneled. Like, I don't know where he can fight.
Yeah, and also, most likely if that happens, Mine's going to take mid-right. He's already taking the middle only at bottom middle in the second. So that'll be 5-base Terran versus a Protoss that's got their rally point cut off. And there's, yeah, take out that Zealot. Just end his misery. He took so much damage to one Mind.
Oh, Nyoken. It hurts me every time, man.
I know. The Mines are just doing so much damage.
We're just fighting against this mech army with no shields, like Half-Life. Like, of course we're gonna get melted.
Well, you see those 2 Mines underneath those tanks? That could be the miracle that Best is waiting for, or trying to get. He's just not willing to commit, though. He's gonna back. Okay, maybe he's not gonna back off. Again, there's still not that many goons there. There's like 8 goons. The rest of the army is pure Zealot. 3-2 is done.
Yeah.
Jeez.
15, 30. Oh my. So all I can do is just take a deep breath, Nyoken, for him here.
Dude, look how many Zealots there are. I would say luckily for Best, there's not enough Goliaths to one-shot these shuttles. So he does unload, but will he get much damage here? There's an SCV transfer. Remember on Heartbreak Ridge when we had transfers to the 4th base, the SCVs got clobbered by Zealots.
Oh, and we're going to go here.
Yeah, Terran realizes that, dude, I've got 3-2, man, and you just have Zealots. So I'm just going to unsiege everything. Look at the supplies. Now Terran's ahead 15 supply.
And these units are trapped. They're not making it home.
No, they're not. And he instantly picks off that Templar. That was ridiculous control right there. I thought that was going to be a good storm, but he dodges it.
What a dodge here from Mine, man. He is just playing crazy. Out of his actual mind, just going nuts here. Best definitely not happy. I kind of saw in his player cam like a little bit of a deep breath himself, saying, oh my goodness.
Well, there's the key unit that we were hoping to see in this game, the Arbiter, but there's only 1 stasis available. To stop an army this big, if you're not going to have that many storms to combo with the stasis, I think you got to have at least 3 stasis here, and that's while also avoiding all the EMP. We'll see if he can do that, though.
Mine putting down good little counter drop.
Oh yeah, that's a great counter drop. He's eliminated a lot of the SCVs. It draws a lot of the attention away. It's going to
those probes escape?
Yeah, and the probes escape. So he's going to be able to transfer to mid-left. So this is still okay for Best. He's maxed out. He's got not double stasis just yet. Oh,
the one good thing here for Best, oh, here we go. Recall going in. He does see it with the Vulture and the SCV. There are some mines back there. We do see him pulling units back.
Oh, man. Okay, luckily there's not that many mines set up, so Protoss can get a lot of damage, but that bunker is still alive. Tanks sieged up behind this, and this was not the recall that Best was looking for. Look at this. Mine realized he's already cleaned it up, so he's already going for the counterattack.
Yeah, and now we have no stasis to fight this army. I was going to say, if Best can hold on, these bases mine out very quickly, that 3rd and that 4th. He could get it done, but after that recall and Mine recognizing, like, hey, you don't got much going on. I'm gonna crush you. How does he get out now? We don't have mid-left secured. The gateways are just going down. It looks like Best is just gonna go for a counter. I actually really like this. I think if he can kill this 4th base off and hold out, maybe he can starve Mine down. But Mine is taking mid-right.
Yeah, I think this is exactly what Best should be doing. Just make it scrappy, try and deny this 4th base. taelen is really mining on only 1 base right now with that 3rd base that, like you said, does mine out quickly. taelen does have mid-right, but he hasn't transferred any SCVs over there. And even though Mind has probably an unkillable army, if Best buys time, gets more stasis, gets more Templar, he's still in an okay position. He's gonna lose all these probes, but remember, he still has like 3 Nexuses on the left side that he could send probes over to, or build from and send over there.
Yeah, we see him scan that Arbiter. He knows it's there. He cannot let this Arbiter get EMP'd because he needs that recall. If he can recall mid-right, he will be able, I think, to possibly take this game, man.
Well, we've got Mind repositioning all of his units to the left side. He knows this is a critical base for Best, so he wants to knock that down. Meanwhile, mid-right, it is going to get shut down. At least the command center finishes, though, so a bit of an unlucky timing for Best there. This base at top left, well, now I'm worried for Protoss, because how many probes can he actually have once this base falls? Like, at mid-left. I know Best is also somebody that sits around like 55 probes a lot of the time. So he could literally be at like 15 workers right now. That could be his entire probe count.
Yeah, he definitely is going to be struggling there with the... oh no. Oh no! Run, Arbiter! Run! We didn't run. It's unfortunate. But mine down to 1 base mining here now. Again, that bottom middle base. You see he's trying to secure it because he knows that... Minus secure because he knows he's out of money now. So this army's all he's going to have if he loses that base. Good little storm there. Can we get another one? Storm. Storming the vultures, all right. I guess because we're Zealot, man, we're okay with just storming vultures and looking to fight here. But we got to get our army consolidated here as Protoss. We cannot go in with these little chunks of units.
Yes, surprisingly.
Is he going to wait for a recall to recall in the army, Nyoken?
I think that could be a good move because he's kept the Terran army back from reinforcing. I think he could cut this off, and surprisingly, Mind is just now taking his mineral only at bottom middle. Like, the 3rd base is mined out, so he's also on 1 base mining. 2 vultures get into mid left, and this is all of the econ at Best.
Oh no. And we see him finally moving that army back down. Arbiter there. Can he consolidate all these units together here, Best, and win this fight? If he were to win 1 fight, man, or have a really good engage, I think he has hope. If he gets his army wiped again, it's just over.
Yeah, this was a really smart move from Mind, though, to back off. He realizes that, hey, you're only on 1 base mining. I'm also on 1 base mining, and my army is just flat out better than yours. So I'm going to back off for now. You can mine there. I'm going to restabilize bottom left, potentially mid-right. His tank count is ridiculous. He's got 3-3. He's still got both vessels alive also, so he still has EMP.
I think Best is looking to fight, man. He had another Arbiter at mid-left, so let's see if he brings that over as well. If he can catch these units unsieged and get a good stasis, I think he could do it. I think he doesn't have a choice. I think he has to do it because if Best gets up a 2nd base with that gas, oh my god. And like we said, that unit count. Oh, here we go.
He caught him out of siege, and that's a lot of Arbiters. I don't know where all these Arbiters came from, but these are great stasises. He's going to eliminate a lot of the tanks with that. More Zealots flooding in. This is what Best is known for. Look at how much more Zealots are flooding in.
Oh my goodness, Nyoken. We just got so many Zealots on top of these tanks, and they're going to unstasis little piece by piece. Oh my goodness, huge Zell bomb there.
Yeah, I did see a vessel was left over. If he can EMP there and just obliterate all the shields, I still think Mind holds it because he's up 40 supply. But this was a great trade from Best. He desperately needed this move. He slowly, or Mind is slowly moving the tanks into position to help. Okay, they unsieged. There's a EMP that I think went off, and it does connect onto the bottom Arbiters. And I think Protoss just fizzled out here. He's sub 100 supply, only at 80. At least Best did take top right, so he does have a 2nd base mining. And look at this Zealot actually shut down the minerals at bottom left.
Yeah, I think that was the best trade that Best could have hoped for him with the army comp that he had versus what Mind had. The problem now, Mind also going to be mining on 2 bases and had a lot of tanks left over. So, and he's even taking mid-right as a 3rd base.
Yeah, so Best is going to have to rebuild another big army like that. He at least kept the Arbiters alive, so he will have them for another round of stasis, but 2 of them did get EMP'd, so it's going to be quite a while before he has that available. Mind has taken mid-right, so he's got 3 base mining right now. You can hear tons of scans going off to see exactly what Best has, and I think mid-right or top-right got scanned, so now you can see he's going to try and attack there.
Yeah, I think Mind has done it. I think he can kind of just lay down a ton of mines, split up his army a little bit, and just go shut down this mining. And I think we're going to see a desperation drop here from Best onto this. Oh, we're not. We're just going to drop 1 single zealot.
Well, this is a nice move. He kills mid-right, and he's probably going to kill the command center also. But unfortunately for him, he is going to lose mid-left here, unless there's Storm in this drop or in these shuttles. But it doesn't seem that way. And there it is, GG. And that means Mind. He takes game 4, and he is now 1 game away.
Yeah, and you saw Best's reaction. The cameraman face right into his hands, like very definitely, obviously upset for the loss. But like I said before, he looked a little flustered after game number 2, man.
Yeah, and the shuttle play is just not working out for him. You could see once he got the Arbiter, though, like those 3 stasis did crazy amounts of damage. Like he hit like 8 or 9 tanks or something. I would consider, if I was him, forgetting about this shuttle play, rushing the Citadel faster, and then trying to bank up 3 or 4 Arbiters instead, because that seemed to be more successful than these drops.
Yeah, I really think he has to consider switching the style up, because Mind has been countering it. He's just been crushing it with the Vulture Harass. I'd love to see him just do a 2-3 base carrier timing here and try to catch Mind, because Mind has been very okay with just sitting, right? He hasn't moved out of his base much. He's been just using the Vultures. So if you can deny Vulture harassment and get the carriers out versus Terran who's sitting, could be a winning remedy right there.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, where he's just sitting, dude. If you just play defensive, make sure you don't take damage, get those high-tech carriers, Arbiters. Could be a winning combo. Pull something out, Snow-esque. That could be the move. But we're going into a break, and then we'll be back with Game 5. And we are back. This is game 5. Mind 1 game away. He's up 3-1 over Best. And it is going to be Dark Origin, a 2-player map.
So yeah, I think Dark Origin can be good for Best here. I'd love to see a gas steal into something tricky, or just gas steal into a 12 next. Something that's going to kind of give him a little bit of advantage. I always feel like Protoss in these 2-player maps have that ability and can kind of pull away and make it a little more difficult for Terran, because this is a map, once again, if Mind's allowed to sit and split it, he's going to be in a really good spot, because you can siege those mid bases from the middle. So if you're Terran and you take a good map control, then you're going to have this game.
Yeah, I agree. And, we already had a 2-player map, Heartbreak Ridge, where we didn't gas steal and we got punished. So I think now's the time to try and disrupt Mind as much as we can. Maybe because he might be expecting the gas steal. Maybe he does like a 10-10-10 or something. Either way, you got to throw him off his game, because, like you said, if you just let Mind do what he's been doing, which is just play defense, he's perfectly fine with that, because he knows he's going to hold well and then just counter and kill, 2 or 3 bases every time he does it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been crushing it, man. He's, like you said, if you can just hit your build over and over and do it really well, you win games. Well, Mind is showing us that is the case here, right? He's not doing anything super crazy. He is just hitting his builds well.
Yep, so hopefully Best will pull out something special here, and hopefully we do get some arbiters, because as I stated in the Silpha game, once the stasises came in, they were great. They were actually really freaking good. The problem was it was just too late. We didn't have any econ behind it. So our players are ready. It's time for game 5. Okay, in the bottom right, he needs your energy, chat, because he is on the brink of elimination. It is Best. And meanwhile, in the top left, looking to make it into the finals again for the first time in a very long time, it is Mind.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. Mind's been really strong. Very, very impressive so far. But I think Best can do it. He can pull it out here.
Yeah, well, one of the intricacies of Dark Origin is, yes, you can get 3 bases pretty easily if you're both Terran or Protoss, but 4th base pretty far away. 5th base very far away if you're gonna split vertically, for example. Also, there are a lot of bridges, so I think there is going to be a lot of opportunity for Best with the more mobile units that Protoss has, where he could catch Terran in an awkward siege position potentially. We do have the forward pylon and the insta scout, so again, this is going to probably be the gas steal. I don't think it's going to be the forward gate. Oh, but he's sending the probe down.
Yeah, usually you can get the gateway on 10 and still gas steal. It should be enough time, so 10 gateway and then a gas steal as well here.
Okay, well, Terran's cutting
Mind
SCVs.
Cuts, yeah, he may need to cancel that probe, man, and just take the gas, because...
Yeah, this is getting... Oh, that was dangerous right there, because he was so close to taking the gas.
Yeah, so if they're playing just like with a standard 12 gas, right, you can still get it with the 10 gate forward. If not, and they cut an SCV, they can definitely still get the gas themselves if you do it that way. So, Best playing with fire, man. Playing with a little bit of fire.
Well, we do have the probe being quite annoying. Has done a decent amount of damage already. And we do have the forward gate, so the Zealot pressure is going to be hitting pretty darn quick. And back in Best main, I don't see an assimilator anywhere just yet. So this could be multiple Zealots, or it could be a Nexus follow-up.
Yeah, I think the couple of Zealot into Nexus would be totally fine here. You know, Terran can't get a Vulture out, so that style is even good against if he hit a barrack somewhere. So.
Oh, gas steal.
Gas steal back.
The problem with gas stealing Protoss is I don't think Protoss cares, right? Like, if they think they're going to get busted, like by an SCV Marine pool, where you could just build a forge and just take your nat gas, or like build batteries even if you think that's coming.
Yeah, I don't think the gas deal is a good option here for Terran because, like you just said, you build a forge, you have Zealots. Like, because Terran has no gas, the Dragoon isn't as important. Like, Zealots fight really well against Marines. It's just not a big deal.
Well, this is 5 SCVs pulled off of minerals, so that is actually a big deal. That's a lot of lost mining time. Also built 4 Marines so far. And he has 2 SCVs trying to just help these Marines push to the low ground. Okay, he does go instant command center, but second Zealot is here.
Yeah, no bunker, just going. Oh, AI gets pulled back by that SCV for this third one. Let's see. Oh, gonna go in anyway.
Good control so far. And that SCV pulling back the third Zealot is actually critical because Best probably A-moved it, and he was expecting it to be synced up with this army, you know, sometime soon. But he's going to see the bad news that, hey, it's all the way back at my Nexus.
Yeah, I think that was definitely an unfortunate turn of events there, but that was some sick control from my man. He body blocked really well with that SCV to be able to pick off that first Zealot.
Yep, and with him eliminating that first Zealot, he may be feeling confident enough to not even have to build a bunker here. Maybe he can just hold with 5 Marines. I think there's actually... Is that just 2 Zealots? Okay, it is just 2 Zealots. For some reason, I thought that probe was a 3rd Zealot.
Mine's so confident that he's moving out to kill these things, man. He's like, I'm just going to push out and get you.
Yep, I think that was a good read by him. Okay, he still does build a bunker just to be safe. That's going to be fine since we do see the 3rd Zealot coming in. Probe's still alive also. And we do have an SCV just scouting around the map to see if there's anything hidden, but we of course see that there is nothing hidden.
Yeah, I like the pressure still here from Best, forcing him back, forcing the bunker using the 3rd Zealot. Mine very diligent, landing the barracks so that he would have to go around the right side so there's no run by. And we're going right in robo before range, I believe. So that's another good thing for Best. He'll probably be able to get that Reaver out pretty quickly.
Yeah, and if you can get a Reaver into the Terran's main when they only have like 2 tanks or so, that's really hard for Terran to deal with. So that could be a good combination after this initial opener. We do have Protoss scouting around the map to make sure he didn't miss like a hidden starport or a hidden factory anywhere. And he didn't. He is going to confirm, oh, there's an SCV there. Well, I'll just take it out.
Yeah, engineering bay going down for mine. I think he knows that he's going to need that. He's been very good with his SimCities in his base to deny these Reavers any kind of entry. So that's been really well played from him.
Yep, I'm looking for that support bay. I don't see it anywhere just yet. That's probably it right there at the top side of Best base. Oh, it's actually Observatory. I'm surprised that he rushed Observatory despite this initial opener.
Yeah, me too. Usually you want to build your shuttle, and then as your shuttle's building, you put your robo down, then the Reaver will be able to start in time. But maybe he doesn't want to play Blind Reaver, so he's going to go with the Observer first. Blind Reaver is a little bit more dangerous, but does help with the timing of it.
SCV does come in and confirm there's no 3rd base. And last game we saw like a 6-10 3rd base, so he probably suspects that, hey, you probably rushed Reaver at this point since I don't see a Nexus, but we don't see the support bay anywhere just yet. I'm looking for a big building getting plopped by Best, but it's not anywhere to be found in the main, and I don't see one at the natural, so it is just Observer. And look at this, Razz. He does have his nat gas way faster than previous games. Do you think that this could finally be something other than shuttles?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you take your gas this quickly as your 3rd base timing, usually indicating you want to play some heavier tech. And I'll tell you, on this map, it's really good you can hide the tech like really towards your 3rd. So like they can scan, they won't see it as well. So there's definitely some place to hide it. But I would imagine he's going to be thinking about this Stargate going down, and if so, it needs to go down soon. So we will know shortly here.
Yeah, you're really looking for the Citadel around 7 minutes if it's going to be Arbiter, maybe around 7:30 based on how the flow of this game has gone. But I think it's actually Carriers this time. I think that we're going to see the Stargates get plopped down in just a second. Maybe not, though, because I mean, he's got the money for it. You would have expected at some point if he was going to be going for Carriers that you would have seen Stargates by now.
Yeah, I would expect 1 Stargate and +1 to be already started here. so that he can get that second Stargate. Oh, 5-fact, man.
5-fact timing. I don't know what he saw that makes him think that this is a game to timing attack on, because the third Nexus was pretty normal. He hasn't seen Reaver just yet.
We have the support bay now, and I'm not quite sure why we're gonna add all this gas if we're not gonna do some type of heavy tech play.
Well, we'll see. For now, we just have more gateways coming down. I think that was a 5th gate coming down, so it's gonna be like 6th gate Robo Reaver. If mine can get to the right side of the map, sit on high ground, this is gonna be a devastating push. But if he's forced to go through the bridges, I think it's gonna be a little bit rougher, because it's so hard to actually push tanks across bridges.
Yeah, he's got a lot of tanks already, man.
Yeah,
and
tank man.
We saw that. Yeah, seriously, tank man is right, and we saw that Best was just adding gateways now. Like, he's been on 2 gateways this entire time. I mean, this push may have some real bite to it.
Yeah, and even though the observer didn't see the factory count, based on how the tanks are positioning, you know this is the timing. This is not, I'm sitting here to take a 3rd base. And if we look at what Protoss has right now, he has a decent goon count, but not that many zealots. Reaver is just now out, but like I said, it is hard to get across this bridge.
I don't think Best has the units.
I'm not sure if he does either. He also doesn't have speed on his zealots. And there's no observer, man. Luckily, there's only 1 mine there. Okay, Reaver shot. That's great.
Oh, big one.
He's got to focus down that Reaver if he wants to push across these bridges. You can see how effective the Reavers are.
And he has units by Terran's bridges blocking any reinforcements here.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what you want to do. But there's an opening at the natural. Does not run by those vultures. Oh, it's a rally tank.
Gets the other one. Wow, man. The Reaver comboed with the stopping of the reinforcements may be exactly what Best needs. Oh my goodness, that is fantastic body blocking with those Dragoons. And if he holds this, man, he will be so far ahead.
Yeah, he's got the gateway count to hold easily. There's, 5 tanks, 6 tanks. Yes, it's scary, but it's only scary if there's mines set up, if there's vultures to support. Tanks are not great by themselves. Here we go. Can the Zealots do the damage they're looking for? The Zealots do get on top of the tanks. The Reaver get off a great shot. And this push got crushed.
Wow, I didn't think Best could do it. I was really scared with the amount of units he had. But you were right. That Terran army had a hard time getting across those ramps. The Reaver absolutely crushed that army, and then the other goons were able to stop the reinforcements. I think Best may have just absolutely done it here, man.
Oh, yeah. And this is, you can see actually Mind is building a command center. But this is not something you transition out of. Like, this is going to be so hard for mine to come back here. Does he even have an armory? I didn't remember seeing one. Okay, he does have one, but I don't think his units even have +1 weapon just yet. So he's way behind in upgrades. Obviously got his entire army slammed, way behind in his 3rd base timing. And now, Protoss has free control over the map where he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, and mine's got to be careful with these vultures, man. I know he's trying to get them out to do some damage, but if Best recognizes that all the vultures are on the map, he can just go bust mine right now. I mean, look at that Zealot man, bro. Zealot man.
Yeah, and those tanks are way far forward. Like, they're not hugging the cliff at all. So those Zealots can easily get on top of them. I think if Mine does want to transition this into split map scenario, I think he's got to hug the wall and just try and pray for these turrets, these Goliaths, to shut down the shuttles before the Zealots can unload. Try and get as many mine connections as possible before they can get to the tanks.
I'll be honest, I really want to see Best just throw the 2 Stargates down now. Like, mine can't pressure you. You know he can't come out. The only thing he can do is use these vultures. Block the vultures and just make carriers.
I mean, anybody that watches my stream, I'm a big believer in carriers. I agree that the Stargates, if you're going to go for carriers or arbiters, they need to be coming down right now, or actually they should have been done. And that was a great run by right there. However, he does lose a lot of vultures for that. And versus a Protoss who's already up 50 supply, you're going to need every unit you can possibly get. So maybe even though he killed a lot of pros, maybe that was too big of a loss on the vulture count if we see a bust incoming.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see a bust. I think Best is feeling it, man. He's got a couple shuttles. He's got a ton of zealots. The only issue he's going to have is getting across the ramps himself. Like, just funneling into the Terran tanks is not great, but if he has 3 shuttles, he'll be able to stop some of that targeting firing going on.
Yeah, and look at the supply. This is what you were expecting to see in this series. Like a massive supply lead for Best. 175 to 121. This is really tough for Protoss to engage into the mine. That's another good hit. You can't attack into this. Like, where's our angle, Razz? Really? Okay, thankfully we turn around.
I was going to say, maybe our angle's between those 2 supply depots right there.
Yeah.
That little choke, and all the tanks can melt our army. Man, go back around the other way. What are we doing here?
Oh, I like how he has his eBay and barracks floated here, so the goons will get their AI messed up coming through the bridges. Protoss is approaching max, though. He's about 200. He's got a lot of Storm available. He's got at least 4 Templars. I did see that. Only +1 for Terran, so not going to have that +2 power spike, which really melts Protoss units.
Yeah, but we need to go, Nyoken. I talk to players about this all the time. Once you hit max, you're only letting the Terran get more units. Like, if you're going to go for the bus and you're going to do it, and that's what you're committing to, you got to go.
Oh my God.
And here it begins, but look at this, walking across these bridges, not dropping anything. Oh my goodness.
I haven't seen a single Storm. No Storm. Okay, he hits 1 tank, but he... Okay, maybe there's still too much Protoss. No, really? Actually, Protoss is still going to get through? Is there enough Storm on there? He needs 5 more seconds, so he does transfer the SCVs to safety. Protoss is streaming across the map, but, you know, surprisingly, Terran still has a huge army on the left side. He can unsiege.
Come back, yeah. I mean, he's forcing him to move, which is going to be great, because if he can catch him in siege with some reinforcements, that'd be great. Oh, nice Storm right there. Forces the lift of the command center, and we're into the main here.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that there's just too much momentum for Protoss right now. He's still got Zealots into the main. He's not going to kill really that many tanks, but Protoss has 5 bases. Okay, now he gets a couple more tanks. That was really good right there. The natural is still shut down. That Archon might complete and actually start racking up SCV kills. Uh-oh, he's going to complete, Razz.
Oh, get in there, Archon. Get in there, big boy.
Intercept that SCV transfer. Blow them all up.
Get him. This is our moment.
He still doesn't realize that Archon.
No, he does not. That thing is in there hitting stuff, man.
Oh, Reaver. The good old 16-minute Reaver drop with Storm.
That's what I like.
Oh, Reaver got picked off. It looks like it's just barely too much Protoss, and that means that Best is going to strike back here most likely.
Best is going to take it down here. This looks like enough right here. He's up to 5 bases. Mine is only mining right now from pretty much 1 base. SCVs are going down to these Zealots here, and look at that red line coming across. Oh my
Goodbye.
Goodness.
And we should see the GG any moment now. The army got crushed. The SCV count got crushed, doubling the supply. There it is, GG. Best, he's going to put a point on the board for Team Protoss.
That's what I'm talking about, Best. I like it. I mean, we may have ran our units across those bridges on move command, but it's okay. It's okay. We got it done.
You know what's funny is if Mind had like laid mines all the way from his bridges to his ramp, like at his main ramp, I think he would have actually traded very well there. It was just what, with like 12 or 15 Zealots left over that really ransacked the natural. But regardless, that was really good defense there, because whenever you're down 50, 60 supply, it feels like it's just impossible. So it was almost a hold from Mind, but in the end, shutting down that push from Best was just too big of a lead. Or Best shutting down Mind's push, I mean.
That was just that was almost a crazy hold. For a second, I really thought he was going to hold. When I saw the first Zealots go in and just get absolutely just crushed, I was like, oh my God, is he going to hold this? Even though he's down, I was like, what is going on? There's so much Zealots smoke going up in the air. I mean, well, it's crazy, but he was able to get it done.
Yeah, and now we've got, I think, good Protoss maps remaining. We've got Nemesis as the 7th map. Retro, I think, is, maybe not super favored for Protoss, but I think it's a good map. You've got far away bases. It's hard for Terran to take 4 bases because of how split up they are. So I'm feeling pretty good about Best's chance now to bring it back, especially now putting a win on there. He's obviously got some momentum going, and now finally he gets a win with his shuttle play.
Yeah, I mean, we're sticking to it. We're not straying away from the shuttle play. So, I mean, I'm glad that it worked out this game. I think the hold was just so well done from Best that he put himself in a great spot. But he makes me nervous with these attacks, man. Like he started thinking about going down that small ramp.
I know.
Like he moved his army to the left. I'm like, what are we thinking here? We're gonna go through the smallest possible choke. At least I know you're going over the bridges, but at least there's 3 of them. There's not a supply depot wall there. I mean, use those. Like, I'm a little worried about some of these decisions from Best here about where we're moving our army.
Yeah, like when he was posturing there, I'm sitting there as a Terran, like, yeah, that's the angle, man. Come down, come in here.
This is where I want you to go. This is perfect.
Yeah.
I was even saying, like, go up and kill all the I don't know what the unbuildable or the breakable building is called, but go break that and go in the back way from the top at least. Like, do not go down that left side of the ramp.
Yeah, that could have been another path to take. But luckily, we got a series on our hands now. We're in a break, and then we'll be back with Game 6 in a moment. And we are back. Moments away from getting into Game 6. The series is now 3-2. Still match point for Mind, but momentum now on Best's side, getting a victory on Dark Origin, and now we're going to be going into Retro.
Yeah, Retro, pretty standard map. Definitely, like we said before, kind of like Allegro Fighting Spirit. I feel like if Best plays with the Reaver, he can kind of hold mine back from taking that third by getting on that high ground. But one thing that scares me, very open map, easy for vultures to get around, and we've seen the damage they've done so far.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, if there's ever a cross-map probe transfer, you know those are going to get sniped instantly. Because even when the goons are in decent positions, still, mine's able to find the angle to get multiple probe kills. So I'm sure Best is going to keep that in the back of his mind when you start taking those third and fourth bases.
Yeah, man. I mean, the amount of probes that have gone down has just crushed my Protoss heart. But we've been able to get 2 points on the board. We're going for a third, so we can get to that awesome Game 7 on Nemesis that no one wanted to play on.
Yep. And looks like our players are ready in just a second. So it's time to get into match 6. I actually think we're going to see drop play from Mind here. I think his vultures have dealt so much damage with the third bases being far away. If he can catch like goons being out of position with a drop, I think he could rack up a lot of kills in the main and third base. So that's what I'm expecting.
I'll tell you what I'm expecting, Nyoken. The BBS
to
go to the finals.
Yeah.
The BBS to go to the finals, baby. Here we go.
Okay, in the bottom right position are Red Protoss. It is Best. And in the bottom left position are Blue Terran. It is Mind.
Alright, Mind, go ahead. Send that SCV out, man. I'm waiting for it. Send it out, baby.
Yeah, send it. I would love it, man. That would be so sick if that's what you're risking it on. Well, I guess it's not Game 7, but still Game 6, obviously an important match. And you can see a lot of Best fans there saying they're going to have comeback 3-0 from that 3-1 deficit to win and get into the finals.
Well, sad news for when he sees them 2 barracks in the middle with no supply depot yet.
Alright, I did see pylon in the main for Protoss, so nothing unusual, but this time around not going to be a forward gate. We do have depot obviously in a normal position, so no BBS.
Yeah, a little sad. It hurts me, but you know, we'll deal. We'll get over it.
Yeah. Alright, what's the... Okay, are we going to have gasless for the first time? No.
No gases.
At least not just yet. I've seen more and more Terran players not necessarily care if they have a SimCity at their natural when they go gasless, so I guess it still could be a possibility. But SCV does take his gas, and we've got basically the normal TVP opener that you're expecting, 12 gas versus 11 or 12 gas from Protoss.
Yeah, a little bit later of a scout this time from Best, so maybe we'll see an earlier Nexus. I mean, the one game where he cross-scouted, he just put it down at 19, which was interesting, but this one I'm expecting a lot of the same, and he's going to scout him first.
Yep, both players with the first scout. Mine's going to feel great that he's not going to get blocked by Zealot on the ramp. We still haven't seen anybody, or we still haven't seen Best go for Citadel opener at all. I don't think we're going to see that.
I don't think so either. I think when you're at match point, you don't want to pull something like that out and have it fail, and that's how your series goes down. You want to do it earlier, you know, when you got some room. I feel like now you're like, all right, I'm playing for my life for real here. I need to just play in the South Standard and get it done.
I totally agree. And, okay, insta range. Okay, so we're not going to be cutting range this time to get a faster Robo or a faster Nexus. So at least he'll be able to pressure, I guess, a little bit the Marines If he
Yeah, he'll
wants.
probably send his first Dragoon over, force a bunker out from Mind, and then just take a Nexus behind that.
Yeah, I think this time around you're not going to be able to get away with 4 Marines, no range, and just pray that Protoss stays back with their goons. Like, that just is so rare. I think this time around, Best will most likely try and pressure with this, so you're going to need that bunker. So far, we haven't seen an SCV go over and build the bunker, and the SCV did miss the goon get rallied across the map.
Yeah, so no bunker, but 3 Marines and a Vulture should be able to push this goon backwards.
Yeah, and he knows there's no Zealot, so there's no threat of the deadly Zealot goon combo. He can hold this with 3 Marines for now. Vulture can come and help out, and so he'll get away with having a delayed bunker for now. And the SCV actually went in the main and then left, so now we actually have the second goon looking around for it but not able to find it, so that keeps the goon back also.
Yeah, Vulture on the map. Best has to be careful. He knows he cannot send this second goon out onto the map. I say that, and there it goes, but no, okay, he stopped. Let's say we do not want one Vulture to end the game in the beginning here by just slipping in. That would be awful.
Yeah, but it does get intercepted, and that means that this attempt to get into the main or do some pressure with the Vulture is already shut down. Right now, all he really wants to do is make sure that he can deny these spider mines from being set up at key locations like mid-right, bottom middle.
Yeah, he's gonna...
I was gonna say we've got more Marines being built, man.
Oh, are we gonna go for some kind of pressure build here? Knowing that it's Robo first?
It looks like it could be like an FD.
I was just gonna say that. I think the positions make it so that obviously Best is gonna have to take mid-right, but it's a little bit harder to defend because you can't block the choke. These 2 chokes, there's more of an opening. Oh, wow. Interesting pathing here. Maybe Mind is just trying to pull Best out of position to run the Vulture in.
I think so, and he technically does, but he does get Mind. Okay, maybe just to lay some mines over on the right side. Okay, so it was not as many Marines as I thought. I thought he was building upwards of 5 or 6. It is just 4, just like what we saw on Sylphid, so everything looks very similar. And I'm wondering, does he have an armory? Okay, there it is. It did start maybe 5:15, so definitely not as fast as the Sylphid game.
Yeah, not going to have that as quick upgrades as it did on Sylphid because those were insanely fast. But still going to be good timing here.
Well,
Best's just playing it safe, man. He's just 2-gate observer. We'll see if he goes into Robo or if he's going to go into, into like the Reaver, or if he's just going to go to some kind of tech this game. I mean, he hasn't pulled it out yet. Maybe he's just not comfortable with the carriers as he is with the shuttle play, so he's just going to stick with that, which is fine. You know, when you have that's your comfort zone, sometimes it's better just to stay in it.
Yeah, it really seems like the shuttle play is what he planned for this whole series, so no shocker that we're still seeing that coming out here. If he's going to go for carriers, you got to get your gas like right now, man. So don't think we're going to see that. Again, we just have the observer opener, probably into the speed shuttles with the Reaver. Mind already set up with his tanks in position. I'm sure turret ring will be coming up pretty soon. Vulture's trying to find an angle, and there is an opening on that ramp, at least for now.
Yeah, he may be able to sneak something in. We know he's been so diligent with them. Best's going to get a full scout the observer. I feel like in a lot of these games he hasn't been able to get in because of the turret rings that have been put up by Mind, or the way it's just been base has been placed, like in Heartbreak Ridge. But he'll get a full scout so he sees exactly what's going on, so he can react accordingly.
Yep, and I think that's a 3rd fact. We may even see a 4th factory come down. So this looks like a build order you do when you think it's going to be a struggle to take your 3rd base. And I like this. The 3rd base is very reminiscent to Fighting Spirit, and all Terrans know that taking the 3rd base on Fighting Spirit is quite difficult. But he got a little bit lucky with the spawns where he's away from Protoss, so he doesn't have to worry about pushing, into a 3rd base near Protoss. So I guess that's going for him. I'm surprised that the Vultures haven't intercepted anything. You know how the series has gone. It feels like the Vultures would have already done killed like 10 probes or so by now.
You know, Best must feel rich, man. He's like, I don't know why I got so much money in this game. This is weird. I got so much mineral coming in. So I don't know how come.
Yeah, his build has not been hindered at all. We do have Starport coming down. Science Facility will be coming down in just a second. Supply is still very close for Terran, 80 to 92. Everything looks fine and dandy. This time around, the Observer also gets in critically and sees the factory count, so he knows there's no timing this time.
Yeah, he knows that he's pretty safe. I wouldn't be surprised if he sends a probe to top right with a little bit of Dragoons just to kind of push it off. He's searching for a hidden base, man, with that Observer.
Yeah, well, Terran hasn't shown the command center yet, and it doesn't seem like Terran has that much, so maybe there could have been something hidden, but we know that, of course, there isn't. And I think Protoss is setting up to take a 4th base at top right in just a second.
Yeah, I think that's the best play here for Best. Just, you know that he's not doing the timing. Go take your 4th at another main, be able to set up units there, especially with the style you want. He wants to play this heavy gateway style, so get it all done, get yourself going. I'd love to see Arbiter at least here this time. And there goes the Citadel down now.
Yep, Citadel and Forge was already spinning, so again, it's most likely shuttles with Forge upgrades. The Observer gets taken out, but it did see the Science Facility timing, did see the 5 factories, so everything looks very normal. We do have some shuttle movement towards the left side. I did notice that the turret at the natural is kind of far away from the wall, so he may be able to actually... Oh no, he built a second one, so never mind. It is not going to get in.
Well, we do have 5 factories here again, Nyoken. I thought we were going to see a command center with just the 3 or 4 factories.
Yeah, he's got his third command center building at his natural.
Oh,
it's going to be floating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there it is,
I
right
didn't see
there.
it there. I was like, whoa. All right, there it is. Like, whoa, wait a second. Where is this thing?
Well, he is, I think, going to try and sit on that high ground at top left, but he doesn't really have a great reinforcing angle, so I don't know how effective that will be. But Best is up 30 supply, and he does have 8 gateways.
Yeah, and he's going to, I think, plop the Reaver right on top of the ramp like all Protoss love to do and say, all right, come push up here, man. And if he can get some good kills and some good connects on these Vultures, or force a lot of movement from Mind, he might be able to break the front. I'm assuming speed will be done within the next minute here for his Zealots.
Good shot right there. Takes no damage on his Reaver. Okay, really good. But slowly but surely, Mind is getting into position. Look at that. Vulture takes no damage. Okay, that's a lot of tanks that are sieged up. Yeah, good unsiege there.
Good delaying. We're at 165 here, so we're really amping up the macro. Yep. Oh man, Zealots, baby, Zealots.
Yeah, and what this is also doing for Best is, I don't see mines like anywhere. Like, do you see mines really anywhere? So if we have another attempted bust, there's not going to be this massive minefield where I'm worried about, 20 Zealots blowing up into smoke in like two hits. Like, this is just isolated Vultures.
All right, but if we attack up the ramp, Nyoken, I might be a little sad. Like, why are we going to go up this ramp? Why not just go through the main?
I don't know, but this is a lot of supply for Protoss, and the Goliaths are out of position now. The Vultures are at the rally point. He's going to scramble to get in here. Okay, that was not the drop that Protoss was looking for, and you were right. This was not the angle of attack. However, maybe the Goons can be more effective here.
Yeah, we're getting the Goons onto the high ground. We popped the dropship as well. That was big. We're going to drag that mine. Oh, we didn't drag it far enough. But he is on top of the high ground. Can Mind get his units up here and in position to stop this Protoss army? I mean, just the CC being floated, and if Best can take a 5th base, top right, I think that puts him in the lead.
Yeah, and he is taking a pretty fast 5th base. Like, he, in previous... Oh, that's double robo, man. Double robo all the way.
We love it. Shuttles on top of shuttles.
Yep, and
he may put a shuttle in his shuttle at this point, because that's how many shuttles we're going to make.
I think this is... Yep, this is going to be the fantasy drop. Vultures with tanks unloading. And that means that this 4th base is under threat of dying.
Yeah, this 4th base is.
Oh my gosh.
Lester.
Oh my gosh.
No.
And instead of trying to save the base, Best is just going to try and counter. There's still a lot of vultures and tanks here. But is there enough zealots to push through? Right now, the goons are not helping with this attack. They're just shooting the command center.
Oh my god, I don't know, Nyoken, where this is going to be close here. We're stuck on the ramp again. A lot of tanks have gone down, though.
Yeah, that time around, he did kill a ton of tanks, but he loses his 4th base. Luckily, Protoss or Terran still doesn't know about top right, the 5th base, I don't think. Well, okay, he unloads the tank, so he may not actually kill top right. Vultures don't have the greatest DPS for his buildings.
Okay, he's going to be able to kill this cannon with some micro here, yep. We're going to have to run these probes, man.
Oh my
we gotta
god.
Run these probes,
he didn't save them!
We gotta run these probes, Nyoken.
Oh my gosh. He gets like 20 probe kills with these 2 tanks, man.
And we lost the Nexus.
And he canceled top right, so the supplies are even now. But Protoss still sitting on this high ground. Wait, what? He's going to take bottom middle?
Well, I don't know about this move. I guess it does force Mine to push out into the middle of the map where he can engage his army better. But the problem is we're 2-1 on even supplies. How do we push out against this army? I don't know as Protoss. But no 3rd base here, Nyoken, and we're getting to the minute 15. Was Terran mine out around 17 minutes? We're mined out.
Yeah, and bottom middle just got scanned, so now he's trying to float his command center back to top left. Mine not really recognizing or not being able to figure out quick enough where he should actually land his base. So this 3rd base has still been denied. Even losing all those probes, Best is still in an okay position, but what I am most worried about is the upgrades of Terran are going to be kicking in full force pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be 3-2 soon. He'll be able to push out. He'll be able to get directly to that 6 o'clock base. But once again, kind of like Sylphid, if Best can just fight well in a lot of these spots, Mine won't have any money.
Yeah.
Like, even if he trade, the better trades he gets right now, like, even if he trades a little ineffectively, there is no mining for Mine in about 2 minutes.
Well, we know there's a lot of vultures at top right, so even supplies, even though supplies are even, I would say there's probably like 20 that's not here, and Best, or now Mine, realizes that. So you can see he's scrambling to get some vultures back into position. This 3rd base is going to be really hard to push into. Shuttle man, where's the angle? There's a lot of mines set up this time around, so it's going to be hard to attack into, but I see that there were Templars there. Oh, look at that minefield. He clears out almost all the mines instantly. Goliath, they shoot down.
Oh my god, great storm.
Are fantastic. D-Matrix, can it save the day?
Use the units from up top too, man. Use the units. There we go. They're moving forward.
+3 just kicked in right at the last second.
I don't know. I don't know whose trade that really was better right now. I think
it's Terran's.
Mine gets the
we
whole
need the
thing.
storm.
Oh my goodness.
We need the storm. They were out of siege. Oh, he doesn't focus down the Templar. But oh my god, 2 tanks survive with no health. Mine has supply lead, and remember he killed 20 probes. He's gonna kill more probes. Protoss is also gonna be mined out in his main and natural. So basically just mining mid-right.
Yeah, we're coming back here with more drops.
It's too much Terran. Protoss is down 30 supply.
We're only mining for 1 base. The only saving grace he has right now is that Terran is not mining at 3rd base at all right now, but he's about to land it and secure it. Could we get a storm drop on these transferring SCVs?
Oh, that would be amazing.
I don't know, man. I think Mine may have done it here.
Well, what's funny about Best's econ management is he often transfers a lot of probes to his 3rd and 4th base. He a lot of times only has 1 worker on his main and natural mineral line. So his natural still is pretty healthy right now, so he's technically still on 2 base mining. He does need to get top right though, and he needs to get that in a hurry. He also needs to get some more Templars. Okay, there we go. We've got more Templars, more shuttles coming out, vultures coming in, and of course they get a couple of Templar kills instantly.
Yeah. He is now mined out. He is on pretty much one base mining here. Mine. I'm assuming mine is going to wait until he's remaxed again. I don't think he has the ability to push without... Oh, we do have a 4th command center up. Can we hold both bases is the question.
Yeah, these bases are so far away. It's what makes it hard to defend. You know, mid-left, for example, in this scenario. And the observer does spot the command center too, so he knows that all of the defense is bottom middle, and he can shut down bottom left. But instead, it looks like Bess is going to try and just go for the throat right through the center.
No, that's not the play, Bess. Don't do it, man. Go deny. Dude, maybe he hasn't set a probe out to top right, or maybe he's building a pylon up there now, but he either needs to secure a base or bust. Like, we can't sit here one base versus one base.
Okay, so he does back off for now. I think that's smart. And he is looping around like he wants to take out mid-left. But command center hasn't landed just yet. Mind has done a really good job to just consistently scan and figure out where the army is. Because, of course, he doesn't want to situate his army at mid-left if actually a massive bust is coming down towards bottom middle. And that's exactly what's happening. Here we go. There's so many vultures. Jeez, there's so many vultures. Is there an EMP? Good D-Matrix. Instant pick off on the Templar in the center. There's no storms at all. This could be it, Razz.
This is it. We just absolutely got that attack crushed. We only used one storm with the Templar. The rest of the Templar are getting picked off. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, the tank count is just like in the Heartbreak Ridge game where it's just massive. Just so many tanks all over the place. And he lost all of his key tech units. He doesn't have shuttles anymore. He doesn't have Templars anymore. He, of course, doesn't have goons because he's been Zealot Man all day long. And just where do you attack now? Is he taking the center?
He's loading the command center to the center to flex on Bess to say, hey, I've done it. Get out of the game, man.
He's building a Nexus now, but I don't know. The tank count was not dwindled down at all. Like, he did a really good job eliminating a lot of the vultures, but tanks are really what you got to kill here, and he is actually expanding to the center. This feels so risky. Like, it's only 6 patches. Why would you ever want this? But that's what he wants.
I guess he feels he cannot hold both the bottom center and the mid left positions the way that with his unit count, because he has been struggling with units as well. I mean, he has a lot of tanks, but it's hard to place them all over half and half because then they get crushed. Yeah, 3 turrets. He's like, you're not storming this. Oof.
Yep,
interesting mining here.
There's the shuttle. I was waiting for it. We need that storm on top of those SCVs. There's a good chunk of them right there. You've got the probe transfer going up to top right. There's not, not that many mines. There's no Sim City here anymore either. So this could not be a bad. This might not be a bad angle. Here we go. Oh, EMP. It didn't actually hit that much.
We have D-Matrix in the front. Oh, the shuttle's down!
These D-Matrixes, man, are just so clutch. And of course, the Vultures running by, picking off all the Templars have been amazing too. But the D-Matrix have just saved so many tanks.
Yeah, I mean, we're mining on 2 bases right now. Oh, another decent storm. Gonna kill some SCVs, but I don't know if it's enough.
Yeah, and what's well, not necessarily funny, but you know, this is the entire army of Protoss, whereas there's like 8 tanks at bottom middle that aren't even in this fight, and Terran's still winning. Oh, look at that! He knew that the Zealot was going to go for it, and he just instantly pops that tank and pops that mine. He's like, no, sir, there's not going to be no miracle comeback in my game.
No way, no mine drags for victory here for Protoss, and he just keeps scanning everything. Okay, we're sieging up here. Some of these tanks are hurt, man. If he can get a couple of these, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's just the econ's just too little. There's no critical mass anymore for the Zealots. They get on top of the tanks, but they only kill 1 tank. And we've got almost doubling the supply. Top right got scanned. If he branches off even 1 tank, and with just mine support, I think he can take down top right.
Yeah, I even thought if he just sent 12 vultures, he'd kill the 2 cannons instantly and just crush that base.
Yeah,
he's just kind of checking out what he's got.
The Vultures have +3 weapons, so they can shred those cannons pretty easily. And this is probably going to be the last-ditch hurrah for Best. He's got to bust through, but he's down so much supply. D-Matrix These vessels, do they just have unlimited energy?
Oh my goodness. And Mine put his hands on his head. GG from Best. Oh my goodness, Mine has done it.
Mind has done it, man. It was a great series from him. 4-2. Best mounted a strong comeback, and it looked like this was a good game for him also, denying the third base for so long. But those engagements at bottom middle, they just went so favorably for Mind.
Yeah, he just crushed all of those drop play. I mean, his reactions and click accuracy to just, as soon as those Templar hit the floor, they were gone, man. They couldn't even go to cast. Like, they couldn't even get their animation up. They were just melted.
Yeah, it really did look like maybe there was like 2 or 3 storms at that bottom middle, huge engagement. Like, that was it. And he had like 8 Templars.
Yeah, it was like, oh, there you go. Here you come. Boom, gone. See ya. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, Templar. Appreciate you.
Yeah, what an immaculate hold from Mine there. And unfortunately, the shuttle play, which clearly Best had practiced a lot for this series because we saw it every single game, just did not work out.
Yeah, definitely.
He's going to autograph the camera. Sign it, man.
Uh-oh. Oh, baby. Ay. Nice signature on the camera. Knows he's going to the finals now. So one Terran advances through. Will we have another Terran versus Terran finals, Nyoken?
It could happen, man. JYJ is such a killer. But I don't think you can sleep on Hero. Hero's, like, if you look at, like, the past 5 ASLs, like, he gets, like, 3rd every single time. Like, this could be his season. I think now that Hydra Lurker Defiler is in the meta, he's got a real shot. But this is the attack that I was talking about. Watch how many storms actually go off. These drops, I don't think you could get better Zealot drops here. That's 1 storm, 2 storms, 3 storms. That's it. And there's more Templar coming in the back, I think.
So I think the one mistake here was, you see the goons that are getting killed right now? There was like 6 of them up there that we didn't have join the fight either. Like, they came in later. I think if he moves from both sides, he definitely kills more. Look at this. Oh yeah. My God. Look at that tank live. Look at it live.
Oh, and what are those doing? Why aren't you helping? With those 5 goons, he definitely could have busted through because those tanks were really low. And
5 goons there and the 4 from that base, I think he breaks it.
Yeah, and actually, Best landed more storms than I thought. I thought he had like 8 Templars, but he actually only had 4 or 5. So to land 3 storms, or 4 storms, that actually did more damage than I had originally thought. So it was a good attempt there, but unfortunately, why are those 5 goons at top middle?
Yeah, we have to bring everything. Because if we bust this, we win.
Yeah, like, Mine's basically mined out, and Protoss still had the right side. Like, he was fine. So, a bit unlucky there, but regardless, Best put on his best ASL showing in, 14 seasons or something? So you gotta give him props there, because he really brought it this time around. He had clutch games versus Action with the Maelstrom. He was staging a comeback in this series, so it was really well done.
Yeah, he played really well. I mean, it's just unfortunate. I think we talk about all the time is that this style is so hard to play. Like, I know, like, I cannot play this style with the mass dropship dropping units and trying to storm. It's just so hard between trying to macro, trying to fight, and to drop out of the shuttles, select those templates. It's a very, very difficult style to play and can be very effective, but it's just a little tough here.
Yeah, this game, I actually liked it a little more, and the reason I liked it a little more is Best took a 5th base much faster than he did in the previous games. Like, all the other games, yes, he got 4 bases pretty quickly, but then he's building these expensive shuttles. It's hard to make work, like you said, and unless you've got big econ behind it, I think you're going to struggle versus someone like Mind, who just played defensive the whole time, unless you have, like 6-7 bases. So I liked it this time around because we were expanding more, but in the end, it still didn't matter.
Yeah, it did make a difference. And I thought that mine was really diligent with that dropship with the 2 tanks, like that fantasy style, like you were saying, to really kill bases off as well. Like defend his main, use small groups of armies to kill bases. Um, I think you have to leave a couple units or mimic their dropships with your speed shuttles to try to deal with it. But unfortunate.
You know what we didn't see the entire series? There was
A
not a single
carrier.
DT or carrier. But like if you have like let's say you just built one DT and you didn't necessarily use it, you just hit it. What if like you had it at top right and you had like a big attack at bottom middle and then like that one DT saved your top right base because, he's not paying attention and kills all the vultures or the tank during the drop. I don't know. It was just something I thought of is like, wow, we didn't see carriers. We only saw one game with arbors, and we didn't see DTs at all either.
Yeah, no, like barely any arbiters, no DTs, no carriers. I mean, I feel like when you think PvT, especially now, like these are a lot of the units that you need. Like you need some of these late game tech units. I mean, it's just so hard to combat the 3-2 or 3-3 Terran mech with just gateway units. It's just so difficult.
Yeah, when I was messing around in single player, experimenting with how powerful upgrades were, I was also testing how effective, like, let's say Protoss has 3-3-3 versus 3+3 weapon of Terran. Protoss was just getting exploded so quickly. I didn't really even notice a difference between armor upgrades and shield upgrades versus a Protoss that had 0 upgrades. So even though Best had really good forge upgrades, uh, there was just not enough AOE with his storms to actually combat mine's defensive posture.
Yeah, I mean, running into the Terran mech with ground units, even with a couple stasis, like we saw in the Sylphid game, the couple stasis go down, like eventually those units come back. And you got to deal with them anyway. So if you don't have an overwhelming army and you're fighting pretty close with the power of the Terran mech, it's just hard, man. It's just very difficult. It's almost better to avoid the mech army and keep just mass recalling everywhere and running around and trying to just kind of play almost just that crazy Protoss and make things messy. Like that's sometimes the better way to deal if you're going to use ground units.
Yeah, I know that's what Flash likes to do. He just runs around and avoids it the whole game. We're getting a look at how today went. We started off with 2 victories for Mind, alternated wins in game 3, 4, and 5, and then we sealed the deal in game 6, and that means Mind is in the finals.
Yeah, he played really well today. He was impressive. He's been impressive all ASL for me. I mean, he's just been so strong. We casted some of his other games, and he just was impressive. Like he came to play. He's very prepped, and I don't want to say he's not doing anything like crazy or flashy. Like he's tried some things, but most of the time he just gets in, hits his build, hits his upgrade timings, and then he wins the game.
Yeah, the only thing that's really crazy for him is just the fact that his vultures get so many kills. Other than
Yeah.
that, it's pretty standard. Like he just hits his upgrades, gets a big army, takes bases, and well, I guess he also did avoid storm very well. There were a few games on Sylphid, do you remember, where he was just poking
Yeah.
in and then backs off and avoids the storm. But other than that, yeah, he just nails his build, man. He just looks so solid coming into the finals.
Yeah. And even when he's in these fights, like microing and shooting down mines with his tanks to avoid them being dropped on, things like that, um, are just kind of crazy.
Yeah, I remember some people pointing out his like sub 200 APM at points. I think his average is around like 280 or 300, but he makes the most out of it, man. And people were memeing we could have a Terran versus Terran finals, but so far we've got half of that guaranteed, and we still have hope with Hero to make it through JYJ so we can have a TVZ finals, but JYJ, he played immaculate versus Sulky. Hero also played very well versus Jadong, but Eonzerg was saying that he's not a big fan of Heroes, or maybe not a big fan, but Zerg versus Terran was his weakest matchup, so it's going to be a tough matchup for Hero.
For sure. JYJ was so impressive. Just army movement, vessel count, just containing fight. Like he was very, very impressive in his last TVZ. So I think definitely a tough task for Hero, but can win. You know, he definitely can do it and definitely pull out some stuff. So for me, it's crazy. I know the ASL started with a lot of Terran, but this round of 8 was so many Zergs.
Yeah, we had 5
And
Zergs, and now we have 1.
now we're down to 1, like just crazy. And the 2 Terran that advanced are now still going, and 1 is in the finals guaranteed. So let's see if Hero can do it. Not that I don't love TBT, but
That's everybody's favorite matchup, man.
It's everyone's favorite matchup.
Every time I check the Afrika chat, they're always, blowing it up. Like, wow, I'm so excited to see Vulture versus Vulture and tank lines and,
Yeah, that's what we all want. We all want to see everyone, an hour-long game for a set of best 7.
Can you imagine if every game went an hour long, like split map battlecruiser versus battlecruiser, and it went to game 7?
Yeah, I mean, in Korea it's nighttime, right? I mean, they'd be playing probably to the early morning.
Yeah, they would.
Until like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, trying to finish up a series. It'd be kind of wild.
Well, we do get to see the map picks for semifinal. We've got the pretty standard maps. I did see Nemesis and Sylphin near the bottom, so there is potential that we don't get to see that at all. So that's a bit unfortunate, but if we don't get to see them, at least we get to see the players play on most likely their best maps, the standard ones, Heartbreak Ridge, Sylphid, Vermeer.
Yeah, I mean, you might not get to your 76, but that's okay.
Yeah, I can live with that.
You can make it off one game, but who knows, for the finals, maybe it'll be picked. I mean, Terran versus Terran on 76 probably gets kind of interesting and kind of crazy.
I think so, man. I'm trying to think, did we even have a TVT on 76 yet? I feel like we may have had one. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, 76, I think that would be a really good, cool map to play a TVT on, especially if you had players that were differing in style. Like, for example, Sock is really good with Wraith, but if you have somebody like, Rush, for example, who's more Vulture Man, maybe he would go into dropships.
Yeah, maybe some just craziness, because it'd have to be all drop play, right? Like, other than the middle of the map, because you can't get any Terran units up and down any of the ramps. So it definitely would be some kind of Wraith versus drop, crazy style. BC Rush, man. BC Rush.
BC on 1 base. Somebody redeemed that for Choose My Strategy one time when I streamed 1 base BC versus Protoss.
Oh.
Yeah, that didn't go very well for me.
Didn't work out, huh?
No.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, I think I had like 80 supply and Protoss was maxed. It was so bad.
Oh, man. Yeah, I can't imagine why getting stormed and Mascoon on BC would be bad for those 4 battle cruisers. But they have Yamato, man. They can shoot that Yamato so far.
Yeah.
You can pick things off left and right.
All right, well, it looks like that's it for us today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Razz for filling in. Tomorrow we've got TVZ, so that means Eon Zerg is going to be back, and we've got an exciting matchup, so definitely don't want to miss that, and we'll see you tomorrow.